not Andalite Chronicles, that's for sure.
My favorite book. I have to say this every episode. As you know, my favorite Animorphs book.
My favorite Andalite Chronicles is Andalite Chronicles, and my favorite Team Rocket Jessie is Team Rocket Jessie. Okay, done. That's all I have to say.
She doesn't talk for the rest of the episode.
Welcome to the Animorphs Book Club. And Animorphs Book Club podcast. If you want to listen to the Animorphs Book Club podcast, you can do that. They're another guys. They're different people. Welcome to an Animorphs Book Club podcast. Just one of them. I'm Be Natural.
I'm Batter.
I'm Mustard.
I'm Stir.
I'm gonna move these.
Today we read book 24, The Suspicion, The Sus-Ibaka.
No.
I was wondering when we would start making those jokes.
I didn't think of that until like 5 minutes before we went to recording. I went to the books channel and was like, oh.
I didn't think of it until after I
thought
stopped
about
reading the book.
I thought about writing The Sus-Ibaka instead of The Suspicion in the books channel.
This isn't gonna come out until 2023. No, way more later than that.
Well, it'll
that would
still
have been
be
cringe,
popular.
Be Natural. So thanks for not doing that.
Oh, okay. Now I feel bad because I thought about it, and then after I put it in the books channel, I thought about changing it.
Wow.
So,
speaking of the books channel,
so
we got 2 mez and 2 thumbs ups for this one.
I'm surprised. Is this the first time you and I gave thumbs up to something that they made?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Because usually we're more critical.
And 2 confused faces, actually.
Yeah, the confused faces are not the same, or not by
for the same reason.
The same people as the.
Yeah, we had one person who gave it a meh, gave it a confused face,
interesting.
and one person who gave it a thumbs up, give it a confused face.
It was a very confusing book. It was very cluttered in terms of like writing and also plot. A lot of moments when it was hard to tell what was going on.
It was a lot simpler than the last book, though.
Yeah, I thought that plot was pretty basic.
I was definitely confused sometimes, but
it did have a lot of battle scenes, and it did have a lot of like.
This book was fun.
Like you had to keep track of. Yeah, it was fun.
That's not a word I wrote in my notes to describe it, but.
There was a lot of.
Wait, did we even say which? Hang on, yeah, we said who gave what ratings, right? The same situation was book 15. Stu and I gave it meh, and you guys gave it a thumbs up.
Oh, so this isn't the first time this has happened.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, this book is not like book 15.
No, not at all.
Wait, which book is book 15?
Marco Sharko.
Marco Sharko.
Marco Sharko.
So me and Be Natural gave it a confused. Oh, it's not confused. It is raised eyebrow face.
Yes.
And Battle gave it a heart.
I gave it a heart.
Should we do the summary?
Yes.
So, yeah.
I am doing the summary for this one. So, I'm
what happened?
Start. Cassie and Rachel, well, this is written in the present tense, so this is going to be kind of awkward compared to what you just said. But, Cassie and Rachel are loading up stuff to take to Goodwill when they notice what looks like a small toy spaceship by the pump in Cassie's yard. Cassie tells Rachel the pump is where she hid the Escafil device, otherwise known as the blue box. They throw the spaceship on the pile, but later they find another one there. When the second spaceship flies away, they know to gather the group and head to Goodwill to get the first one back. At Goodwill, they find the tiny ship, but then the second one shows up and starts shooting tiny beams at the Animorphs. They find out that the tiny aliens inside the 2 ships, otherwise known as the Helmacrons, are after the blue box because they want to use it as a power source. The tiny ships fly away and the Animorphs morph to birds to chase them. Back at Cassie's house, the Helmacrons break the blue box out of the pump and start to fly away with it. An aerial battle ensues. One of the ships flies into Cassie's barn with the blue box, and Cassie demorphs and chases it, followed by Tobias and Marco. The Helmacrons use the power from the blue box to shrink the 3 of them down to a 16th of an inch tall. Another scuffle ensues, and Jake is able to get in and grab the blue box from the Helmacrons without being shrunk. The 2 ships fly away. Then Cassie's dad shows up, causing the Animorphs to disperse. The Helmacrons come back and kidnap Marco and Cassie. They ask them which of the other Animorphs have the blue box, and Cassie and Marco convince them that Visser 3 has it. The Helmacrons fly away to where Visser 3 is and attack him. Marco and Cassie decide to morph flies to escape, but because they're already shrunk, their fly bodies are microscopic. A Dracon beam hits the Helmacron ship, and Cassie and Marco decide to demorph because they can't see what's going on. Somehow they end up on Chapman's head, as he was near Visser 3 when the Helmacrons attacked. Tobias shows up and lets Marco and Cassie know that they are at a meeting of the Sharing surrounded by controllers. Then the other Helmacron ship shows up with the blue box and starts shrinking people left and right, including Visser 3. Visser 3 yells at the controllers to get the blue box away from the Helmacrons. The other Animorphs are also there, and they too try to get the blue box, but the Helmacrons manage to elude everyone's grasp. Cassie has an idea to land the Helmacron ship by morphing a blue whale on top of it, so Tobias brings her and Marco to the ship, and with their combined weight, they do just that. Axe grabs a Helmacron ship. Meanwhile, Visser 3, some of his controllers, and the rest of the Animorphs, who have all been shrunk, are riding on Axe's leg. Cassie has another idea and tells X to morph Harrier and fly to the gardens. He does so, and when he gets to the gardens, he drops everyone on an anteater. The Animorphs, except X and Visitor 3, all acquire and morph the anteater. This makes them grow to normal anteater size because it's new DNA that the Helmacrons have not shrunk. Jake and Rachel catch the Helmacrons on their tongues and hold them hostage while Marco and Cassie secretly demorph and go into the Helmacron ship to take control of the shrink ray. The Animorphs make a deal with Visitor 3 that everyone will get unshrunk as long as they go away and leave each other alone. The deal goes through and everyone goes back to normal. The end.
I searched my notes and the word fun is in there once.
Oh, okay. I don't think the word fun is in my notes.
I have the word funny like 5 times.
Did you guys see the inside cover that I sent to the
Yeah,
group chat?
okay.
Yeah, wow, that is not what I thought they looked like.
I'm very
Really?
surprised. No, not at all.
Huh.
There-
Okay, now I want you guys to draw what you thought they looked like.
I have no image that I could draw. We have the inside, a
Really?
picture
It
of
was
the
pretty-
inside cover. It's some anteaters.
Well, when it said they had 4 legs, I pictured it looked like Buck Bumble.
And then
What's Buck Bumble?
the Helmacrons were there.
Buck Bumble, the character with the best title screen theme probably ever.
What about now? It's time to rock with the biggity bump bumper. Bump to the bump to the bump to the bass. Bump to the bump to the bumper.
But I mean, I guess this is more accurate to how the book described it, because the book just said they have like human-like bodies.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought that sounded kind of stupid, so I imagine them looking more like the Yars from Yars Revenge,
That's another thing.
which is
Look up.
another video game.
The bug people.
Scary.
How do you spell that?
Yars.
This is a weird inside cover. This book was weird. This is a weird
Yeah.
inside cover.
They look kind of like Invaders.
Oh my
Zim.
gosh, there's like people in the background watching.
This is what the
Wait,
gardens
wouldn't
looks
they?
like.
Shouldn't they describe like people being like, "Oh my gosh, why are there suddenly 4 more anteaters? Like, what the heck is going on?"
Nah, didn't have time for that.
I assume
This book ended very abruptly.
This book ended
was
so
so
abruptly. I was like, wait a minute, did I have literally 1 page
Yeah, I was
left?
like, is this gonna be like is it gonna be a part
Yeah.
2 or something? Like,
Yeah.
Is there gonna be a part 2 to this, of all things?
I mean, it just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, you know, the
Like, it
David...
seemed like it
Yeah,
could
you
start
know,
another
the 2 trilogies of the Animorphs, the David trilogy and the Helmacron trilogy.
Why not?
yeah, that makes sense. There's a new creature, new creature versus
creature.
new.
I guess
New
Animorph.
twist to the Animorph story.
I guess so.
Yeah, so anyway, I love this book. I give it a heart because I loved the Helmacrons.
Aw.
They're great. They're wonderful.
Why? How?
Wait,
What the hell?
so what did you think of them, Mustard?
They were
Mr.
fun.
probably thought they were super annoying.
They were funny little characters.
Okay.
Huh,
Because
okay.
Cinnamon Bunza once said, Cinnamon Bunza said, everyone either loves or hates the Helmacrons.
I
Why
love
do you hate
them.
them?
I love them too.
I wouldn't say. I
Yay.
don't.
They hate Cinnamon Bunza hated them.
I don't love.
No,
What's
you know,
their
Cinnamon
hair
Bunza
problem?
take these books way too seriously. There, I said it.
Yeah.
It's on brand for them to hate these guys.
Yeah.
Like the lore that was established of the Helmacrons was like not like integral to the plot at all. Like I skipped over all of it in the summary, but like it went into it anyway, and it was cool.
It was cool.
And like they actually put a lot of thought into it.
They remind me of the Urkins. And this inside cover art, they also look like Urkins. Like their heads look like Invaders
I
Zim.
can't.
Yeah,
I
you should
can't
specify
see
that's the
this.
Invaders Zim aliens.
How high quality
I think
is
everyone's
this?
gonna know
It's high
that.
quality enough. Zoom in.
All right. Oh, okay. Wow. Oh gosh, they are. Ew.
What's wrong?
Ew.
I sent my Helmacron fan.
I'm glad I didn't have the actual picture. These look awful.
Are they supposed to have like bug-like mouths?
Yes.
Butt mouths?
Bug.
Bug mouths. Yeah.
Or they're like mouth parts.
Yeah, these guys have like weird. These guys look like Muppets. They look like freaking Beaker.
You look like a muppet.
They-
I don't know
they,
what.
They look horrible. These do not look bug-like at all. This looks like the crappy kind of alien design that you would have in. Oh my gosh, my teacher is an alien! Exclamation point!
No, we haven't
exclamation
bought-
point! Exclamation point!
We haven't bought that genre.
Well, okay, that's like what this book is, though. What?
No. I mean, yeah. I mean.
Too
Alright.
bad Kurgerbing is in here because he said that
Yeah,
Anteater
that was the
his
first
favorite
note. Was
animal.
that this is finally the book that had the anteater in it, and that was Kurgerbing's favorite animal. I'm sad that
If only he were here.
you never got to see it.
He's not dead, by the way. You guys are talking as if he died. Like, oh man, I'm
Maybe
so
he
sad
did.
he didn't get his. We could call him right now.
He got turned into a rat and also
I don't think he
Yeah,
did
we had
like
to. He got too big for his britches, so we had to force him to turn into a rat and then leave him on a garbage island.
But again, in this book, we will only talk about this in the passive voice, making it seem like it wasn't our
yeah,
fault.
you'd think Cassie of all people would be like, "Oh, it was a horrible thing that we had to do, and I don't even know if we had to do it." You know, like you'd think Cassie would be like laying the blame on.
Yeah.
But no, she's like, oh, well, that just happened.
She got turned into a rat. Wow.
Yeah, I'm wondering, are they just going to bring that up in every episode now? Like, it's not relevant to it's not like Tobias being a bird. Like, we don't even know that.
That's true, yeah. It's weird that they keep bringing it up.
All she says is, like, David used the morphing power wrong. Now he's a rat. Like, that sounds like he accidentally turned into a rat.
And they're like, oh, man.
Like, if you just read this book, you wouldn't... Yeah. Maybe it's so that people can go back and read the David trilogy and then, like, not have that spoiled for them?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
So, yeah. I mean,
But to make them interested
the ending would be spoiled, but maybe it's, like, so that they wouldn't... It wouldn't be spoiled that... How exactly it happened. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't have a lot of notes on this book, but I did enjoy it a lot. I mean, this book was definitely better than the last book, honestly.
What?
Absolutely.
Last book was just boring. This book, at least, this book was like, Capelgate has been hoarding.
Tobias.
Capelgate has been...
This had a lot of, like, weird stuff. Last book was, like, too competent, you know?
Yeah.
Weird stuff.
Oh, it was too well written and good.
No, it wasn't even good. No, it's literally the writing in this book was better than the last book, even though the story was sillier.
I don't know if I agree with that, actually.
The writing in this book was pretty entertaining. Like, there was just a lot of, like, actual, like, this book was like, Capelgate has been hoarding size descriptions since book 1.
She must have been.
Because, like, every other sentence was like, this was so big, this was as big as this, and she kept it coming with, like, comparison after comparison.
I really thought more note on that would be like, you got sick of it, though.
Yeah.
More and more big things.
Because I kind of did.
I will say, this book did have a lot more fun and enjoyable scenes in the previous book. It was simpler. I didn't have to think as much. It went by faster, which are all good things, I think. Mm-hmm. Just the last book was a unique experience for me when it came to Animorphs.
A unique experience.
So why didn't you give this one a like then?
I don't remember. I just thought I didn't come out of it thinking, what a good book.
Yeah, I was just like, this doesn't seem up to par with Animorphs.
Came out of it thinking,
this is just a goofy sci-fi book. This is an Animorphs book.
It's not really Animorphs, but it's fun.
I'm glad that Animorphs is a wide enough universe that they have this crap in it.
There's a lot of stuff I didn't really care about, but like it's definitely a higher tier mad book, I would say.
Yeah, definitely.
I debated whether I wanted to not give. I was very unsure about.
I'll let it hurt because I like the Helmacrons.
I'm not doing that.
What?
But that wasn't your immediate reaction, though.
Oh, I don't want to police it too much.
Okay.
Look at the little green guy.
You know, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Now you have two of everything, see? None of them were like the same.
So my first note is about Yerks, and I don't... This might have been mentioned before, but it really surprised me.
They look like dog doo-doo?
No. No, we're going to get to that later. That was a stupid line. Worst line in the book.
I couldn't giggle at it.
It says the Yerks displace the portions of the inner ear that are in the way. And
had a note on that too.
And then drill into the skull?
I was like, is that metaphorical or something?
Like, that's never been mentioned that they drilled a hole in the skull.
And I've been wondering
I don't think
what
it's
they
literal.
do in the inner parts of the ear too. Because that's not a tube.
Who said that?
That made me look up a picture of a human skull, and I'm not sure how the Yerks would get in there from the ear canal anyway.
This is what I've been saying since the first book, Be Natural.
Oh. See, what? Hang on, so there's no direct line from the ear to the brain?
Not that I can see.
There's no tube.
Okay, so what I think happened...
There's the eardrum, and then there's a couple of little bones, and then it's the brain.
So here's what happened. I think Capelgate didn't know that, and then she was informed that before writing this book, and was like, yeah, they drilled into your skull. Okay. I think that is literally what happened.
Okay, well, there's a hole in your skull where your ear bones go in.
How do Yerks drill?
Exactly, it's stupid.
Do they have drill canals now?
I didn't even think of that. Okay, this is stupid. They don't freaking drill into skull.
They rotate really quickly.
They slide between ear bits. I don't know how skull. I need to look at the 3D model.
They would need to destroy your freaking eardrum to get in.
They slip. They like become liquid and slip.
No.
Wait, so if they slip to the eardrum, then are they in the brain, or is there still a skull in the way?
No, there's still like 3 little bones.
Well, they're little.
Wait, how does sound get to your brain then?
Because the vibrations.
Well, they just
go right in.
They just vibrate through the ear.
Yeah.
They just turn themselves into sound.
That is weird. So that was my...
Yeah, I agree. I think Capelgate just didn't freaking know how an ear worked. What a dummy.
Oh yeah, chapter 1 was weird. I
No,
assume
it
you guys.
wasn't. It was the most generic chapter. I had literally no notes for chapter 1.
That's why it
didn't
was
even...
weird. Because
on.
I think this was the only first chapter that had literally nothing happen. It was literally the entire thing was exposition.
I don't think it was the first one.
It's definitely one of the only ones to do that.
I was surprised too that when I went back to write the summary, I was like, oh, nothing does happen in chapter 1.
Like there's no like, oh, we were at the barn and then I explained this. It's literally just, oh, here's the information.
Yeah, Capelgate really didn't try on this one.
I wonder if that's something that like Cassie does. Maybe that's like a writing style of Cassie. I doubt it though.
You know what this book is? It's probably like Capelgate didn't even know what the book was going to be about, so she just was like, I'm just going to warm up by writing chapter 1. Okay, chapter 1's done. What's the book going to be about? I guess they're having a garage sale or something? Okay, sure.
She did mention the Helmacrons in chapter 1, so there was new information.
Well, she went back and added that.
It was like
unlike the Helmacrons, who were not a threat.
Yeah.
Continue to be a threat for the entire book. Wow.
Well, the way
Warren's teaming up with the Yeerks in order to defeat this threat? Okay. But they're not a threat.
Oh yeah, they teamed up with the Yeerks for like 1 second, but nobody did anything, and then they were stopped being a team.
This book was weird.
So stupid.
I kind of like how we see the Helmacron perspective, and like it's basically like a subtitle to the chapter number.
Oh yeah.
It makes them seem really insignificant.
Oh, you mean the little things under each of the chapters?
Yeah, I really like
I
those.
love those.
It's a little captain's log from the ships.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the first one. It says posthumous exhortation of the Emperor from the log of the Helmacron ship, implying like this goes into the future thing. Because I don't know on that. Like, how did the Emperor make a exhortation posthumously?
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
And it's because they kill all of their leaders. And I guess they just make up what the leader says after they die.
Yeah.
And that's so cool.
I didn't even notice that it said posthumous exhortation. I thought it was just like... I thought it said exhortation of the late emperor.
A lot of the words in this had too big.
Yeah.
The words were too big in these logs.
Yeah, like they kept describing the ships in different ways. Like I tried to keep track of what the ships looked like, but I totally lost track of which ship was which.
When did you guys notice?
The Galaxy Blaster and the Planet Crusher.
I didn't notice that there was like a rivalry until like chapter 11 between the two ships.
I don't think it was really... No.
I picked up on that immediately because I kept looking back at these. I really wanted to understand what was going on in this book because I remember
the little things had a rivalry going on.
I remember when I read the book the first time 10 years ago. I did not know what was going on in this book. Like in terms
that's
of
what I'm saying. It's
Helmacrons.
not entirely clear.
I was playing Dark Souls the whole time I was reading this, so I don't really know.
How do you do that?
Just like
I don't think I could focus
sound.
on the two things at the same time. I'm not the game that has
there were
words
some
in it.
weird. There were engine nacelles.
That they kept bringing up. They didn't explain what a nacelle was. I was like, excuse me, am I supposed to know what that is?
But gotta explain what a thermal is.
Gotta explain what meds are.
They don't explain.
Meds.
Oh, I didn't say this, but they didn't explain what thermals were in the previous book, so I was very confused.
They kept using all these big words, and me brain no good for that. It's too stupid. I'm just 5 years old.
But yeah, so there are two different ships that these logs at the beginning of the chapters came from. There was like the Planet Crusher and the Galaxy Buster.
Honestly, I don't think the difference is really that.
Yeah, no,
It
but
really doesn't matter.
I didn't notice there were like two different specific ones, and they're like, oh yeah, the weak, stupid Galaxy Crusher, we're way better than them. They were useless, and they're just like fighting each other in the text, and it was.
It's awesome.
Okay.
I like how as soon as one of them...
was bad?
No, it wasn't bad. It was just I don't know.
I like how as soon as one of them dies, they're like, "Oh, those poor guys!" Like yet again.
It goes in with their culture. Like it's like everything they do is informed by what the book tells us.
Yeah.
Should we explain like the
yeah, that was
thing?
explained in the actual summary, so we can do that.
Okay.
So when the Animorphs like go in the ship, the leader they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll take you to the captain." And it's like some dead dude with like a bunch of short sword stabbed through him.
Excuse me, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Some dead woman
Women are
with a sword stabbed through her.
Yeah.
I might be a little biased on this one, but that's definitely one of the things that really swayed me on the Helmacrons.
You
was
love
the fact
dead
that they're all
women.
women.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. I love killing women.
As soon as you found out they were women, you were like, "Oh, can I have your number, madam?"
Yeah. Maybe.
Oh no.
Anyway, I drew fan art of that scene actually.
I thought
nice.
I thought it was very interesting. I was intrigued by them.
I like Dead Helmacron Lady.
Yeah. That was really metal. Like that didn't need to be in this book at all.
No, it didn't.
Not plot relevant.
It was just to show that they're
insane.
They're such characters.
Wackos. They're such characters. They're probably never gonna come back.
I think they might.
I hope they do.
They didn't they just kind of flew away. They didn't really do anything.
Yeah, I was like, at the end of the book, I was like, So why are we trusting that they just leave them alone? Is it just because the males are rising up now?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't give the males any weapons or anything to help them, so I'm like, why wouldn't the females just, like, what upper hand do they have other than, okay, I guess we're not submissive now? Like, I assume that didn't work in the past?
Yeah, now it's a happy ending. You know, the men are in charge now.
And then the men beat the women senseless.
Yeah, the ending was like so
As it should
weird.
be.
Like,
Yeah, so, like, in the useless chapter about the dead captain, they have another useless chapter where they're introduced to this little, male Helmacron, and, that goes nowhere. They, like, meet him, and then he's like, I am supposed to teach you about submission. And then they're like, okay, and then it goes on to the whole thing about them trying to escape, and it's like, okay, when did they use what he learned to them about submission? Until at the end, there's like this tiny little thing about, oh yeah, the men aren't going to be submissive anymore. It's like,
I think that was just
that
Marco.
did not seem well thought out.
I thought that was just Marco being like a sexist troll because he was like, wait, these guys are submissive ones? Hey, you guys, you need to punk up and fight these women. And then,
No, the Helmacrons are the sexist ones.
I mean, well, Marco was calling on toxic masculinity to be like, oh, I'm going to call this guy wuss because he's a wuss. Which is like, okay, whatever, Marco.
I thought the last like few sentences were so weird because it was just like, all females will now grovel at our tremendous power. You'll worship us as true masters. It is the male Helmacron who shall make us tremble. Never will females be anything but absolute rulers over all males.
Meaning, like, they're going to kill all of them, I guess?
We shall dominate the entire universe. We will start with you. Oh,
That is very interesting. Yeah, so, like, there's this whole subtext of whenever if Helmacron is like, oh, well, we might promote you, wink, wink. That's supposed to mean, like, oh, we're gonna kill you because they kill everyone who, like, is above them in the hierarchy. Wait, did we actually explain that in detail?
No, not really. We didn't really, no.
Okay, so they believe in, so every leader that they have makes mistakes. I mean, like, because, you know, people make mistakes. And they're like, well, we need a leader who doesn't make mistakes. I know, we'll just kill the leader that we have. And then they won't make any mistakes, and then we can, like, worship them as a true leader. And so they do that, and I like this because it's like, they function completely well, even though they don't have an actual leader who is, like, alive to give them orders, so, like, that's like a hive mind type thing, I guess, is going on.
It makes sense because it's later explained that, like, if you kill one, their minds, like, absorb into
that
each
too,
other or
and
something.
that, like, wasn't plot relevant either. That was just, like, offhand, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, so...
And they do just kill each other, like, when there's a disagreement, they just start fighting,
And then they just start
kill each
fighting, and
other.
then they kill whoever, like, messed up or whatever.
Yeah.
And this is revealed by Visor 3 because they're like fighting the Helmacrons.
The Yerks, for some reason, the Yerks know about Helmacrons, but Axe doesn't. So
Yeah,
I guess
the
that
Andalites
implies
don't.
the
It's very
Andalites don't know about it.
Yeah, Visor 3 probably just encountered them.
I guess he did.
But he said, you can't kill a Helmacron. They are a fungible species. Kill one and its mind, if you can call it a mind, is absorbed into another. They never die. Even when they're dead, they're not dead. That's like...
I didn't expect the word fungible to be in this book.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the beginning of this book?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's
Oh,
do
there's
that.
something else I wanted to bring up at the beginning. Apparently humans, one of the things that makes humans superior to taxons and Hork-Bajir is that they eat more different kinds of things.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I wrote that.
A lot of species on Earth are very specific with what they can eat.
Well, specifically...
I mean, but compared to the taxons, that seems like an interesting thing to say.
That's why they're...
Well, the Taxons are always hungry.
That's why they're superior as controllers. Like, the Yerks want them. Because they can eat, like, anything.
What does this imply about the taxon diet, then?
Well, the Taxons
Are
are
they just trying to
cannibals.
say that the taxons will eat each other, so that's hard?
It's hard to control their hunger.
Hard to control them? Because that's, like, that really doesn't make sense when, in the context of the rest of the sentence. Like, it just isn't, like...
It says humans who could be fed almost anything, unlike the bark-eating Hork-Bajir or the eternally ravenous cannibalistic taxons.
I guess the
Right,
Taxons
so, like,
can
that's
also...
implying that the taxons can't be fed almost anything, which I guess they can.
Yeah, I guess you're
But
right.
that's not really the point of why taxons are hard to control. So it is just a clumsily written sentence, I guess.
I see. That makes sense. So Cassie is wearing a swimsuit, and Jake is not really trying really hard not to look at her, just to look at her face.
This was weird.
This was
I
very
hated
strange.
this part.
Yeah. He tried to keep his head... hi, he said, giving a little wave and keeping his eyes rock steady on my face. Oh wait, Jake saw us coming and looked like he wanted to hide. It suddenly occurred to me that he'd never seen me in a bathing suit. Now I wanted to hide.
Normally he would have smiled, but he just swallowed, darted a look at the rest of me, blushed, and once again grimly focused on my face.
Mm-hmm.
And then Cassie's like, oh no, he doesn't like it. And then Rachel's like, Cassie, what do you know about guys could fit on the head of a pin? Good grief. That's not a she looks dumpy look. That's a whoa, she looks hot.
That's a she has a dumpy look.
But I better not show any reaction or she'll get offended. My first note of the chapter was just, oh no.
Yeah, I said, oh geez, Captivate.
Dumpy.
So there's a lot of Jake x Cassie stuff in this.
Well, yeah, it's a Cassie book.
But honestly, I wasn't as annoyed by it as
It was only in the beginning, really. I liked when Jake actually yells at Cassie later.
I wasn't annoyed by it. I was just like, I don't want to read this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then another thing about this chapter, they kept mentioning...
It's chapter 3, right?
Yeah, they kept mentioning that the ships had something called a Death's Head.
I didn't explain what that was either.
What the hell is all of this stuff? What is going on, Applegate?
Yeah.
And I looked up Death's Head, like an apostrophe in it.
Is it like a Star Trek reference?
All it came up with this Marvel character. I couldn't find anything about what a Death's Head bridge
Google
is.
Death's Head bridge, but Google Images is just showing me bridges.
I'm just used to not knowing half the words when I read, so I just kind of assume.
Well, this time it was egregious.
Yeah, that's bad.
We're so stupid.
Cassie gave a suppository to a goose. That was mentioned.
Blah blah. What else is new?
That's new.
Okay, Cassie's always doing suppository.
She's only ever given a suppository to a raccoon.
Exactly,
This is a goose.
yeah,
This is new.
Yeah.
Oh wait, this is a Star Wars thing. A Death's Head.
That's what I figured. I figured it was some kind of reference because
It wasn't even capitalized though. It was so confusing.
The Death's Head was an Imperial I-class Star Destroyer of the Imperial Navy, so that's referring to the pizza slice.
Huh. Okay.
But so I guess it means just this chunky thing on the top is the bridge.
I don't even know what a bridge is in a ship.
Oh, I have more like Rachel anatomy to add to her 10,000 teeth and her whatever it said about her hair.
Yeah.
So there's a whole scene where Cassie is like, hey, I want to see if it's possible for dirt to cling to you because you're always so clean.
Cassie was acting very out of character at some points. She was acting very silly.
You think Cassie has to be boring?
Cassie's just in a silly mood today.
No, I didn't think it was entirely a bad thing.
Sometimes you're in a silly mood.
So like Cassie suspects that Rachel is like not human because she's like undead, only undirty, and she throws dirt at Rachel and Rachel catches it, and then Cassie's like, okay, show me your hand so I can see if it's dirty, and then Rachel refuses. She refuses to show Cassie her hand, so that's suspicious.
Cassie did like overload on the hyperbole. She's like, oh, Rachel could like fall down a mudslide and be run over by a bus and get picked up by a tornado, but she would still look beautiful and clean.
So
you're saying new Rachel lore is that Rachel also repels dirt?
Well, it's just suspicious. Maybe that's what the suspicion title's referring to. Is that she's being suspicious. Do you guys know what the title's referring to?
Yeah, that's the best I can think of. I don't know.
It's just about Among Us.
Because there are crewmates in this.
Guys, stop.
And they do turn on each other a lot and kill each other.
Oh my god.
Do they do tasks?
And there are aliens.
Do they do tasks? The males do tasks.
They do tasks.
Yes, they do.
They like fly their ships and stuff. Did they call emergency meetings?
Do they do card swipes?
The emergency meeting is when they kill everyone.
Do they stand in medbay?
Oh, we don't say
Do
that
they
either.
connect different color wires together?
When there's a disagreement in the ship, just half of them just like start killing each other until I guess they just do that. It was really explained why or how they do that. It's just like
I imagine Helmacrons must pop out babies like I don't have a metaphor ready, but they must pop out babies a lot in order for this
That's
kind
also
of behavior to be
interesting
maintained.
because they didn't mention having a queen or anything.
I wonder if there's a queen Helmacron back home who's just constantly popping out babies.
I like the idea of there not being one though, just because that would make them different.
Mm-hmm.
well, the captain's logs are just talking to like a
The
god
Emperor.
or something, isn't it? There's like
The
some
Emperor.
Kind of...
Most powerful emperor, Lord of the Galaxy.
Who's probably dead.
Yeah.
Wait, oh, okay. So the chapter, so the most powerful emperor, Lord of the Galaxy. That's in chapter 3, and it just says from the log of the Helmacron ship. So I guess on the Galaxy Blaster they just have a copy of the posthumous exhortation of the Emperor, I guess. Anyway, based that they use gender neutral titles for the female emperor, who I assume is a female. I guess I don't know. The main gimmick of the Helmacrons is that they just keep talking about how great they are and how they're gonna like take over the whole galaxy and blah blah blah, and then they're like, I mean, it's kind of cruel because they're so tiny compared to everyone else, and they're like, oh, you couldn't take over and freaking leave. It's like, it's not their fault.
Like,
they're
you
trying.
Fools, you will bow and be crushed by us, the mighty Helmacrons. Do that the whole book.
So part of the reason why I like this maybe is because it reminds me of a Hollow Knight character. His name is Zoth the Mighty, but he every time you meet him, he's like failing at something, or like when you finally fight him, he's like really bad at fighting. You just kind of knock him around, and you feel really bad because he's always talking about like, oh, I'm so great, like I took over, I beat so many monsters, and then he's like, yeah. And,
I love that character archetype. I love Invader Zim.
I guess
Invader
I just love that character.
Was my favorite character of all time until I discovered Team Rocket Jessie, who is Invader Zim but sexy. So I just love that character archetype.
I have no strong opinions on it.
What about...
Really?
No.
Huh.
Never mind.
I feel like there's a million characters in RPGs that you like because they're like that. Maybe I'm wrong.
What RPGs do I play?
Earthbound?
Who does
I don't think we have a character like that in Earthbound, actually.
Orange
Is there one in Off? Orange Kid.
Yeah.
Apple Kid?
No, Orange is just a loser. He's not like...
Isn't he full of himself or something?
Yeah, but he's just a loser. Like, he's not...
Well,
like...
yeah, that's the point. That's part of it.
That's part of it.
No, but these people aren't losers. They're just confident.
Yes, they are.
No, just he's not a loser.
Okay, they're
Yes,
pretty
she
good
is.
at what
She's
they
so
do.
Jessie is such a loser.
Oh.
She loses every
She
single
poops her
time
way
she
through
loses
life.
to a 10-year-old. That's all she does is she loses.
Yeah, but she's still cool.
Well, yeah, but like Invader Zim is also cool, but he's also a loser. Just because you're a loser doesn't mean you can't be cool.
Yeah, Orange is not.
Yeah, we're all cool.
Yeah, we're all
Oh my
cool.
gosh.
Anyway, my next note is something I laughed at. Jake is like, hey, Axe, is there any way the Yerks would be able to use some kind of tiny flying thing to locate the blue box? And Axe is like, what's a flying thing? And then Marco says, a thing that flies. That's it.
Thanks, Marco.
That was a good line.
Wait,
I don't really have any notes on this book.
How else was he supposed to answer that? I don't get it.
I don't know, it was just a silly scene that was dumb.
Well, they're all emphasizing Marco talking, so now I'm confused.
Marco added helpfully.
You don't think X would have asked what a flying thing is?
No, why would he? What is he confused by?
What it is?
I'm sure
A
X is
thing
the
that
word
fly.
thing
Okay, that clears it up. Thank you. You didn't know that's what it was.
And then they meet this clerk who also is his character
Who's
is
a
like
big stupid idiot nerd.
his
Yeah, who
character is
works in-
pointless, completely pointless. It's just there for some reason.
So they
Capricorn thinks it's funny when people are losers and nerds.
yeah. So after they get this tiny ship and send it to Goodwill, they're like, oh frick, it was a real ship. So they find this clerk at Goodwill or whatever, and they're like, oh, we need a spaceship toy. And he's like, oh, what kind of spaceship toy? Romulan, Federation, Klingon, Dominion, Ferengi, Babylon, Marimbi, Shadows, TIE Fighter?
Oh, Ferengi?
It's like
Is that from Dune?
I don't know.
Ferengi? No, that's from Star Trek.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, there are spaceship toys that aren't from some media, Some kids just have rocket ship toys, dude.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
really.
Yeah.
And we had a NASA spaceship toy.
Okay, so this is what a Romulan ship looks like.
Yeah, they used the word Romulan like 5 times. I don't know what Romulan is. I think it's
Me
Star Trek.
I think it would be
pronounced
Romulan.
Yeah, it is
Capgate's
Star
like
Trek.
obsessed with Star Trek. It's
Isn't
been
it-
a while
Isn't
since
it
you mentioned
Romulan with an A at the end? Not an O.
Romulan.
so.
Romulan, these nuts.
Romulan. Yeah, Romulan with an A. That's how you would pronounce it in my mind.
Okay, sure.
That sounded Romulan to me.
Yeah, me too.
But this isn't really what I pictured it looking like at all. They
I
said it was
think-
like a long tube with like some engines on the back
Yeah.
and something else on the front.
A Death's Head bridge on the front.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. I guess you
I guess
figured
this
out
is
what
what
that
this is. Yeah.
So, then the ship starts getting up and moving around, and Rachel hits it with a baseball bat.
Wait, is this when it's on the thing or when it's in the place?
It's in the Goodwill store. At some
Okay.
point, Rachel hits it with a baseball bat. That's all I know. And I like that the through line. And Rachel proceeds to hit it with a baseball bat, then hit it with a brick, and then hit it with a tire iron. So Rachel uses 3 different objects to hit the Helmacron ships throughout this book, and I like that that's just like a through line in this book. Is Rachel using various tools to hit Helmacron ships?
What's a tire?
Literally, what else would you like? It just makes the most sense. Like you would just kind of swat at it.
There was a line I was confused by when they find the ship in the Goodwill. They say, "Oh, there it is," and Jake says, "Oh, next to the Klingon battlecruiser and the GI Joe attack module." And then Cassie says, "I roll my eyes. You're such a boy. Sometimes I almost forget you're, I mean, it's sweet."
That's pretty weird, because what is Jake exactly?
Yeah, what
is he Cassie's boyfriend?
What does mean? I was so confused.
Is he trans?
It means he's an Animorph.
Does it mean Animorph?
No.
It means he's trans.
Isn't the person who Jake's based on trans?
Yes.
Well, yeah, but I don't think she was at the writing of this book.
No.
What
Yeah,
What are you talking about?
Jake.
Capelgate's daughter is trans.
Jake.
Oh, wow.
So yeah. What is? I'm so confused by what you know.
She's talking about how they're dating.
Oh, they date. They act like as if they're not dating though. They're always like, "Oh, I."
That's
like
why I was
Jake."
confused. I guess it was because sometimes I forget you're my crush. Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know.
And then Rachel says,
Okay, she says,
"Aw."
I mean, it's sweet.
Yeah.
Okay.
So which makes me think she's being romantic here.
Yeah, I was supposed to be romantic, but it was weird and confusing.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it meant. Oh, and then when they see like another ship, when the other ship flies in, Jake's like, "Oh, that's such a cool toy." It's like, why would you assume the second ship is a toy when you know the first one, which was a different? Like, come on, dude. You think a toy spaceship coincidentally went in where this real similarly sized spaceship is? Like, come on, Jake. Anyway,
Get your
Toy
head.
technology is growing so much.
Use your
lately.
fucking brain, Jake.
Okay, wait. Did they assume that the beams on the ships were Dracon beams?
They did.
yeah, I noticed that they called
Because
them.
obviously they weren't.
Well, no, they made the same sound.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Too. Yeah, there was a weird thing where like they kept calling the beams that these Helmacrons use Dracon beams.
Yeah.
And then there was a part where like when later in the book when they were morphed as fleas, they like could tell that someone
Then
got
an
hit by a
actual
Dracon beam.
red Dracon beam went through the ship, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, a Dracon beam!" Which is like, so that is, yeah.
And I was like, how did they wait? I thought these guys use Dracon beams. How do they know the Yerks are here because of that? Like
Right.
that was weird.
So I guess they're just assuming that they're Dracon beams, even though they're not, because these guys are evil.
I guess so.
But these beams are blue, right?
I don't know what color Dracon beams are even. I don't pay attention
They're
to
red.
beam colors.
They were red since when?
I assume they're all green.
I assume they were like
All
yellowish.
of them, even
Wait.
the Andalite Shredders too.
Yeah, why wouldn't they be?
Because then you couldn't tell them apart.
Why would you tell them apart? Do people paint bullets in war? No!
Make sure that your flamethrowers are color coded so that you make sure that you only get hit
Make
by
sure that your flamethrowers are calibrated so that they emit flames of a certain heat so that the flame is the same color as your country's flag.
Yeah. That'd be cool. That's how war should be fought.
If wars were fought like that, I'd be in favor of a lot more of them.
I'm getting warm.
Okay, Warmo. You want me to... Oh, I think I just revealed his real name.
Warm.
Cut that out.
Warm.
No, no.
Warmel.
Warmo.
Warm.
Warm Emily.
Oh, wait, no, his name's like Tippy Hopper or something.
Bumblebee, Tippy Hopper, Foopaloo.
Since when?
That was in episode 16?
Yeah.
17?
16.
Every day.
16?
Yeah, we doxed him.
Okay. There was just in chapter 6, this isn't like plot related, but Cassie said...
But it's plot related.
No,
Pluck.
it's not. When you go to the dentist, you sort of know the pain is there. I mean, you realize that pain is being created. It's just not reaching your brain. Is that how pain works? Like,
Yeah,
that seems really
I
weird.
guess.
Like, pain is a thing that happens regardless of if you actually feel
If
pain.
a pain happens in the mouth and your brain won't feel it, is the pain actually there?
I assume pain is just the sensation in the brain.
I think she's just trying to be poetic here. Like,
yeah, it was poetic.
by the pain, she means like the whatever drill poking into your tooth or whatever.
Yeah,
The damage.
I didn't think...
the
I just
damage.
thought it was an interesting way to think about that. I liked it.
Yeah, it was interesting. I don't think they've described that like that before, have they?
No, that was about morphing, wasn't it? They said like morphing seems like it should be
Yeah,
painful,
it seems like
but
it
it's
should
not.
be painful.
Why did they hide the cube in the water pump at Cassie's
Like, that
barn?
doesn't seem like that great of a place.
Yeah, like Cassie was like, "Do you have a better place?" And it's like, "Yeah, how about not your house, so the Yurks don't suspect that you're."
That's a really good
Andalites?"
idea. That's a really
Yeah.
good point. I didn't think of that actually.
Like, come on, guys.
Yeah, Tobias should hide it somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was.
You should put
weird.
it with the freaking. Well.
I mean, I guess a good thing they did put it there, because otherwise they wouldn't have like seen the Helmacrons, and the Helmacrons would have just like.
Well,
Well,
they
okay.
Axe could have
Although,
put it
what
in
would
his
the
scoop.
Helmacrons been able to accomplish?
They would have been like started shrinking all humans in the world.
They wouldn't have the cube.
They didn't find. Wait, how'd they get the cube if they didn't know it was there?
Wait, are you saying if it had been buried somewhere else in the Helmacrons?
No, wait, right, Hannah, how did they start shrinking them? Did the animals take the cube out? I thought they found the
the
cube.
Helmacrons got it out. Okay.
Okay.
I know what you're saying. So that it was good that it was by the house. So
It's good that they happened to be there. Is
That
what
they
I'm
were
saying.
happened to be there. Okay.
Still not a good hiding place.
It's an awful hiding place.
Because it's like it only works if you account for the possibility that these previously unknown aliens exist.
Do you think they're gonna put it back there after this book?
Yeah, they didn't describe anything that happened after this book. Like,
She was in a rush to end it. She was like, "Oh, I have the 600. I
I guess
already
she
at
needs
66
exactly
pages."
66 pages or something. Even though lots of them have been longer. Very weird.
I was kind of annoyed that they kept underestimating the Helmacrons. Like throughout the book, they're like, "Oh, these people can't do anything," and then they like the Helmacrons messed them up. Like
Yeah.
they were like, "Oh, they're useless," and then they get shrunk. And they're like, "Oh wait, if we're small and they shoot us, then it hurts."
It
Like,
took them so
yeah.
long for them to realize that.
There were so many things that took them long to realize. It's like, what? You didn't think that would happen?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh yeah, we can fight these guys now. And yeah, it was that got annoyed me a bit, but whatever, it's fine.
Are we gonna talk about the scene where they turn into the cockroaches and the wolf spider? Because that wasn't that important, but I don't know.
I like the way they described that Axe was scary looking as a wolf spider.
Yeah.
That
So
was
this-
huge.
This is when they all
This
get
book had a lot
shrunk.
of vivid description in it. It personally allowed me to picture it really well, and it was fun to read because of that.
If you want to listen to us read part of this book, go to the previous episode and listen to us read the thing at the end. Because that was a fun scene.
Yeah, I don't think we need to cover that
Yeah.
that fun scene.
They all
again.
get shrunk one by one. Yeah, I was confused, but
Oh, you know what? I really liked how this book didn't shrink all of them,
yeah.
Yes.
and it forced Marco and Cassie to do some,
Yeah, it was cool,
together
fun
time.
Marco and Cassie bonding time.
Yeah.
They got to hang out.
I'm not a huge fan of Marco and Cassie's.
Although Marco did make a weird joke. He was like, "Oh, we're tiny people. We can mate and make a whole population of tiny humans."
I like that joke. I like that it came back at the end. Because I saw it as a very non-sexual joke. Because I don't think it was meant to be. I think Marco just thinks the idea of a race of tiny people is funny.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
He's like, what if we made more of them? Wouldn't that be funny? And then at the end, when like Cassie and Jake were on a date, Marco's like, oh man, we're not going to do the tiny people thing. As soon as you get big, you go off with Jake.
As soon as you have more than one option, you don't choose me.
But it was weird, but I thought it was charming personally.
Mhm.
Hey, Ster, do you want to be awake for this?
I'm falling asleep, sorry.
Do you have any notes?
You don't have to be awake if you don't want to.
really.
But
No.
Okay, this is the Stir Sleeps episode.
I was sleeping last episode too.
oh, really? I didn't notice.
He fell asleep near the end. I don't know if he fell asleep, but I wrote this book has funny dialogue.
I just like the Helmacron dialogue.
Well, this was I think most of my funny dialogue notes were about Axe. Because the Helmacron says, "We will crush you, Andalite. All Andalites will grovel before us." And then, I forget who says, "Not if my friend Rachel hits you with the dense..." Oh, Axe says, "Not if my friend Rachel hits you with the dense oblong cube she's holding."
Oh, X, like, there's a joke where X, like, multiple times tries to explain, like, Rachel's like, "I'm gonna throw this brick at you," and the Helmacrons are like, "I don't care," and then X is like, "No, but you see, the brick is actually very dense and very heavy compared to your ship, so it is actually a threat."
I don't remember.
And they're like, "We don't care."
The Helmacron do not give a crap in this whole book.
They're so great.
But someone says it's a brick axe. It's called a brick. We built houses out of them. It's like you didn't have to say that you built. That wasn't relevant, but okay.
Well, X, and then X is like, "But don't tell them that you build houses out of bricks."
Oh yeah. Why? I was gonna.
Because I guess that would make the Helmacrons look down on them. Like, that's just making the Animorphs show how primitive humans are.
Isn't there a part where, like, they're like, oh, you primitive humans, and Axe is like, I am not a primitive human, and the Animorphs are like, Axe.
Oh yeah.
This book seems like it wastes a lot of time on some things, and then at the end it lets it catch up to it, and then doesn't like go back and edit out the stuff that it wasted time on. Because there's this whole section where they're being like, what if we morphed a flea when we were tiny? Because they figure out that when they morph, they still stay tiny. And then Axe is like, well, let me calculate the whole thing. It would be 0.00.
Yeah, why did that was like 2 whole paragraphs.
That took like 2 whole paragraphs.
Like why? And he was like, oh yes, and if you were this size, you would be 1.001816th of an inch.
Yeah, I kept looking at those numbers and trying to like count the zeros and be like, okay, this is important, and then it wasn't.
It wasn't important, no. But they do look like.
But I mean, it's okay. I'm glad it was there because it's like Axe character time,
I guess. Later on, they do get small enough where they can see like the individual cells on a Helmacron.
Yeah,
that was very cool.
I just felt like I do not care about this cell wall stuff.
Oh really? I thought it was epic.
I don't know why, because I was like, this seems like it should be cool. But
I was like, this book probably only exists so that Applegate can write this.
Well, yeah, that's why it's cool.
Which is like,
I'm like, okay. I respect that.
Maybe that's why I gave it a
She's so like injecting learning into these books.
If I liked that scene, maybe it would have been a thumbs up. Because just I'm that's just hype. I have no idea.
But that whole part did seem really pointless because they like morph flies and then they fly around and then they're like, okay, well let's just demorph, I guess.
Well, they have to get out of the ship. That's why they did it.
Yeah,
but they don't even know if they're out of the ship. They're just like, okay, I guess.
I thought that part was, like that they.
I guess okay. So the Dracon beam, like, I guess they can assume that it cut the ship open and that the ship is disintegrated now or whatever.
Why were they so small? Like it seemed like they were
like
smaller.
We could get hit by a car. Oh well.
So they were like Helmacron sized, and then they shrunk down to fly size relative to Helmacrons, and it seemed like they were smaller than that. But I guess it's just because like they were smaller than cells, so it seemed like they were smaller.
So I'm thinking, I guess Helmacron cells are like really big compared to their bodies.
Yeah, if the cells were bigger than the flies, like the cells are much bigger than they were as flies. If the cells are bigger than the flies, then when they were Helmacron sized, then they should have been able to
still see the cells.
Yeah.
But I remember it said like, oh, there was something above that looked like a big moon, and that was like an eyeball. It's like that's not how small flies are compared to humans, so that's weird.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Like, it seemed like Applegate forgot how the relative shrinking works.
I mean, I assume the Helmacron eyes are way bigger than a human's, but this thing kind of contradicts that, to be honest. The picture...
Well, you don't go by the picture on the covers and stuff. That art, like, the art of the Andalites is pretty bullshit. Also, they morph in full clothing.
Yeah. These things look so crappy. Why do they have 4 legs if they barely even look like bugs? Like, extra legs just...
It never said they look like bugs. They have bug-like heads. That's all it said.
It said they look half insect, half human.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Because they're like they're like tiny.
They gave even more of an impression of being half human, half insect. Yeah.
The half is the head.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. Their heads are just half as big as the rest. Like, they had to take up half their body.
Throughout the book, I mean, until I like went back and checked or like read something, I was like confused. Like, who is shrunk right now? Who is big?
That's why I say it was kind of confusing because you have to keep track of all that stuff.
There's a lot of stuff to keep track of, but like nothing.
And a lot of characters just show up without much of an explanation of how they got there.
It wasn't like the last book where you kept track of it for the sake of trying to figure out a mystery. It was like you have to know this, and it's confusing.
Yeah,
they're very like basic.
So the Helmacrons go and attack the Yeerks. Okay, this is also dumb because the Helmacrons see that the Animorphs have the blue cube. And then they're like, okay, so which one of them has a cube? And they're like, oh, there's a 6th Animorph. Oh, and it's Visser 3 because the Helmacrons can track 7th, whatever. Because the Helmacrons can track the morphing technology, the morphing power, so they can just go to whoever has the morphing power.
Like
and
the Veleek.
Yes.
Yeah. And
the Yeerks haven't done this since the Veleek, but okay.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. Yeah. Okay.
It's because real quick. Do you guys think that these guys are actually more technologically advanced than Yeerks and Andalites? Because they definitely act like they are. And based on the fact that the Yeerks haven't done this yet, I feel like they might actually be.
They might be. It'd be cool if they were.
It's really small.
Well, I mean, Yeerks were basically in the Stone Age, like 100 years ago or something. Right, yeah. So
yeah,
like Yeerks basically just have what they've stolen.
But. And then they're like, oh, but Visser 3, and then they're like, well, where's Visser 3? Oh, he's in orbit. how do you get in orbit that fast? The Helmacrons don't question it at all.
What do you mean? Oh, I see. Sorry.
Because, and then they're like, oh, well, he's gonna come get the blue cube. So I would be, at this point, I'd be like, okay, so you have had the blue cube this whole time, but you lied to us about this other Visser guy. And they just don't point that out at all. Like, I would just be like, I'd be very suspicious. But I guess they're just like, oh, we hate the Visser, let's go kill him.
That seemed like a bad idea.
Yeah.
And then Cassie
Like, the lie just, like, kept growing and growing, and nobody ever questioned it.
And it's like, if you're small and helpless, like the size of an ant, and you can't really, like, do much, why would you, like, go to your enemy instead of, like, maybe go into the other Animorphs, and then maybe they can, like, help you fight or something?
Yeah, so the Animorphs, I guess, had a lot of faith in the Helmacrons that they would actually be able to kill Visser 3 for some reason.
Yeah.
Or at least, maybe they just wanted revenge, like, oh, I want him to be small too, that would be so funny. I don't know.
Yeah, but they didn't have the blue cube yet. They had to get the
They
blue
didn't have
cube
the
first to
cube.
do that.
Yeah.
So they should have went to one of the animals. Like, and then
Wait, hold on, how did they get the cube at the end again?
Axe just had it.
Oh, Axe had it in his pocket.
Yeah, they brought it with them.
They somehow got it from him?
They just mugged Axe,
wow,
yeah.
Axe, why are you so incompetent about this?
But they didn't shrink Axe for some reason.
But they didn't shrink Axe.
Why was Axe the only one not shrunk at the end? That was so weird.
It was just pandemonium. He just didn't get shrunk.
But they stole the blue cube
from him.
You'd think they would have stolen it and then
they
shrunk him
would've just shrunk him
immediately. But no, they
immediately.
just went inside and shrunk Visser 3 instead.
Yeah.
It was weird.
That's why I say I don't think this book is that well written compared to the other ones. I think you're wrong, Be Natural.
This book was definitely more well written than the last one. The last one just had parts of the writing that were really bad. This one didn't really have that. This one had plot holes, but like the writing itself wasn't like.
But like in terms of like imagery and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, there was one big mistake I noticed. I forgot the word "I."
What?
Is
this a joke? What do you mean?
No. So on the first page of chapter 18, Marco said, "How about if we call you Wuss? Listen up, Wuss. That's not very nice." Marco interrupted. Didn't say I.
Cassie interrupted. I thought you meant like she forgot what the word "I" is.
No, sorry. She just forgot it in this one instance.
Okay. Speaking of like writing, there was a part that was interesting. Well, Marco was small, and he says, "Gee, what do you think?" Of course, none of them heard it because it came out like, "Gee, what do you think?" And that's like written in a small font. And then it says, "And even that's an exaggeration. To really convey how little sound we could make, we'd need microscopic print." And I was like, have they like referenced the fact that these are like printed in books before? Like that was interesting.
Oh, you're right. That was very
like
meta.
At the beginning of some of the books, they're like, "Oh yeah, we're writing this so you guys can be warned." But I don't think they have like.
Did they actually say that?
I don't know if they've said that. I think there's
I think they're just saying we have to warn everyone.
But like they're referencing the font of the book here. Like that was like weird. Because I always assumed like in the canon of the series that these books were written like with pencils and paper by the kids afterward, and then like translated into print for us to read.
Mm-hmm.
And also they say the word like we. They say we would need microscopic print. And it's like, it's just, I don't know, it just seems like a weird thing that for like Cassie to have written that.
Right. In her narration.
And then I'm like, I'm wondering if there's going to be more stuff like that in the ghostwritten books. Like,
yeah.
Why would you assume the ghostwritten books when this book isn't ghostwritten?
Because Capelgate's like, "Oh, hey, by the way, you can be meta now. This is my the go ahead to do that." I don't know why I focused so much on it. It just stood out to me a lot.
Yeah.
They referenced that. And my next note is the interaction between Axe and Cassie's dad. Like Cassie's dad, Axe is in his human wolf, and Cassie's dad says, "Do I know you?" And Axe says, "I do not know whether you know me. Only you would be able to answer that question." And then, so since the other Animorphs are tiny, they're like, "Oh, Dad, watch where you step." And he's like, "What? Why?" And then they're like, "Oh, because there's a Nell." And he's like, "Oh, okay." And then Axe says, "What is a Nell? Is it similar to Mel?"
Oh yeah, I thought of you when I thought of you when I read that.
Well, I laughed out loud at that line. I really like Cassie's dad. I didn't specifically like Cassie's story. What did you think of Cassie's dad?
Yeah, sir. What do you think of Cassie's dad in this book?
I forgot what he did. What do you?
He just talks to Axe.
He's like, "Get out of my freaking barn."
Oh yeah, he got really annoyed.
He got really mad.
Like, because Cassie was gone, and it was just...
Axe claims African ancestry to Cassie's dad.
Oh yeah, he was like, "Oh..."
He said he was from the freaking Ivory Coast or something.
Yeah, because they were like, he was like, "You're a weird kid," and they're like, "Oh, he's foreign," and then he was like, "Oh, where are you from?" And or maybe Axe said I'm foreign, I don't know, but he was like, oh, Ivory Coast. And he's like, you don't look like that. He's like, oh, how about...
I mean, X is probably a little bit dark, right?
Yeah, I assumed he would have been able to... I don't know, I assumed he would look like any nationality.
Also, like, you really don't think any white people live on the Ivory Coast? Like,
Yeah.
That's just a weird thing to bring up.
Like, I was about to write down, like, okay, Axe can...
Like, if I met a weird kid, I wouldn't immediately assume that he's lying. Like, I would just be like, oh, my worldview... Like, I must have some sort of bias, you know?
Yeah.
I wouldn't just... Yeah.
Yeah, then Axe just, like, throws out, like, 3 other countries, and he's like, oh, Canada? And the dad's like, yeah, sure, let's go with that, okay, you're Canadian. And,
yeah, he agrees with that, I guess. I don't know.
And then he just gets really annoyed that just Jake and this random kid is in his barn. He's like, okay, get out, guys. Get out of my barn.
Yeah.
And,
It also never wraps up that, like, Cassie disappeared because, the dad's like, where's Cassie? And they're like, we don't know. He came here to look for her and she wasn't here. And so, like, hasn't the dad and the mom presumably been worried about Cassie this whole time?
well, yeah, at the end, Cassie's like, oh, I'm probably going to be grounded.
I'm gonna be grounded.
And then Jake's
I
like,
forgot
oh, I
about
wanted
that.
to go to the beach and look at your bikini or something.
Yeah.
I forget what he said.
Yeah, that was also called back.
Yeah. There was. I said I didn't really care for a lot of the size comparisons, but there was some fun ones I liked. Like they were like, oh, there was a brick the size of a high school, and it's like that's a really big.
That's a big brick.
And like, oh, you'll know nothing until you've seen a cockroach the size of Walmart. Next time you go to a Walmart or Kmart or Target or a big grocery store, stand out in the front and look at it and think cockroach.
I actually had a note about that because I was wondering if. Oh wait, Bianca's not in the room. I was gonna ask her something about that.
We can just wait, I guess. Well, I guess I'll just say my next note because this
Yeah.
is unrelated. Tobias talks about pee a lot.
He said it again. That scared the pee out of me.
Yeah, like I don't think
Almost.
like maybe I need to make a pee
Who
chart
else
now.
says like that's a thing? I guess.
'Cause,
I
like-
guess that's Tobias's new catchphrase. Okay. You scare the poop out of someone, not the pee.
Well, because Tobias has never said the word poop in all of the series. I'm pretty sure he's the only Animorph who's never said poop.
It just must be part of his quirk.
I don't think any of the other ones have said pee though, and he
But
said
no,
it in
he
like
could
4
have
different
said,
books.
like, you almost made me pee my pants. But no, he just said, you scared the pee out of me. Like, it's just interesting.
It's his new catchphrase.
Yeah.
But like in the previous book, he was talking about pee, like just the woman peeing,
Yeah.
and yeah, he just talks about pee a lot. That was my note on that.
I'm just a pea guy.
What is your question? You still remember your question, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
I was thinking Capelgate just puts those kinds of things in there, like, oh, you should, next time you, oh, think about, like,
Next time you're in the bathroom, make sure that you're not actually your.
or, like, think, like, or, yeah, like, something like, next time you see your dad, think about, like, what if he isn't actually your yerk or something. I'm wondering if she puts that in there to, like, increase engagement with her audience.
like so they emailed her and say, I think my brother might be a controller, and she'd go like, he's very suspicious.
Or, like, if that's, like, if she does that specifically to, like, make kids more curious about their world. Or, like, if that's just another way to, like, foster them thinking about the world around them and being smarter and learning. I don't know.
Where did we natural go? Did she shrink?
Yeah, we don't know where she went.
She's making noise in the kitchen. She's, like, shaking plastic bags around.
She
Yeah.
didn't shrink.
She did. What's up with people getting up and leaving? Like you left
She didn't
without
say
saying
anything. Yeah.
Which I assume means okay, keep talking. I don't know.
I
Yeah.
had a demorph.
Oh, it had 2 hours.
I guess I'll just say this other unrelated note. Because I don't think we mentioned this on the podcast at all. That according to Annabase, Applegate did not make up the titles for the Animorphs books.
Oh, yeah.
It was up to the scholastic editors to create the titles for the books based on the outlines provided by the author, having to select a word that not only would fit the book storyline, but sounded good with the characteristic "the" preface.
That explains why all the titles are crappy.
Yeah, that does explain that.
That's so dumb. They really couldn't trust Capelgate to write her own freaking titles.
Maybe she just really hated making up titles.
Maybe. It just seems like a weird layer of bureaucracy to exist in children's book writing, you know?
Yeah.
Like Magic Treehouse, I wonder if they just I mean, this might be safe to assume, but like, did they just come up with all the titles and then write stories around that?
Those titles had those are like alliteration titles, right?
Yeah,
like
they
Dinosaurs
were.
by Dawn or something.
Yeah.
I read all those books, by the way.
Yeah, I'd assume they just like came up with cool sounding titles.
All the ones
And
in the
like
first
it seemed
one.
like in the later ones, they definitely seemed to run out of like time-based words that they could use.
I read those when I was very, very young, so I remember like 0.1% of it.
Yeah.
So it's not like Animorphs.
Anyway, Be Natural. Now that you're back, I was gonna ask, did you actually like do that stuff when you were a kid?
What?
Like go to your local Walmart and be like cockroach.
What?
You don't remember that in this book?
In this book, Cavalcade's like, the cockroach is as big as a Walmart. Next time you go to a Walmart, look up at it and think cockroach. Like, imagine that the cockroach is imagine that it's a cockroach.
No, I don't do that. No.
As
Oh,
a kid, did you?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember that part of the book. I mean, I remember it now, but I don't remember that.
But
from
like
my
when stuff
childhood.
like that came up, would you do it?
Yes, generally.
Oh, okay. I mean, I wouldn't expect you to remember that specific one. But...
That's a pretty memorable one. Like if I was to do any of the commands in the series, I think it'd be that.
Like the series just likes commanding kids to do things. I guess that's just
Like-
my point.
If I remember, next time I'm at a Kmart, I'll definitely go up and look at it and imagine it as a giant cockroach.
I feel like that's just like a hallmark of children's, like trying to get children to engage with their world, because that adult wouldn't do that. Adult wouldn't like make a point by saying something like that. I guess it just sounds too cheesy. I don't know.
My next one was about groveling, because I like.
Oh, the groveling scene was funny
It
too.
was very good.
That's so good.
This is classic Marco.
Classic Marco.
Now, do you guys know what the word grovel means? Because
Yeah, it just means like
I mean, I can assume based on context.
it's
but
like worshipping, but not like in a god way.
I think if I saw it out of context, I would not be able to define it. I'd be
I
like,
mean, it's basically what Marco did, but like more sincere.
So they say, so when they meet the dead woman, they say grovel before the captain, and then Margot looks at Cassie and is like, how do you grovel? I've never groveled before. And then they say, well, we don't know how. I mean, you know, different folks, different customs. Maybe you could show us. And then they say...
I thought they would actually show him at that part, to be
Yeah,
honest.
well, I think they'd be like, oh, we can't show some... They're trying to trick us and make us
Yeah.
submit to them. And they say, you may grovel in the style of your own people. Grovel as you normally would grovel. So then Marco just like kicks back and relaxes and is like, oh, yeah, I'm groveling right now. I feel
grovel
you.
before the mighty Helmacron captain, most mighty of the mighty, undisputed champion of the world in the dust weight category. We grovel like the pitiful losers we are. We grovel like a guy who hasn't got a date the day before the prom and the only girl around is the head cheerleader. That's how much we grovel. Cassie, you can join in any time, you know.
Cassie's not into it.
He has some very interesting comparisons in this, actually, because they kind of don't quite make sense, but I guess they kind of do.
There's something in there about like groveling like a video game addict.
So
who
yeah, we
doesn't have
grovel like a video
quarter.
game addict trapped in an arcade without a quarter. We grovel like a guy with a large order of fries and the only salt shakers at the table of the school bully. Like, huh?
See, if I just read those parts and not the part where the command grovel, I'd be so confused about what
So
groveling means.
Because, I mean, yeah, you would, actually. You're right. Because, who in a video... I guess he's begging other people in the arcade for quarters?
I
guess
guess
that's what the
so.
video game person is doing. This is me just coming up with this just now. And I guess you would grovel in front of the... Oh, because you would grovel in front of the bully to get the salt
You'd
shaker.
be like,
And you
"Oh,
would
you can have
grovel in
it."
front of the cheerleader
Okay.
to get the date. But, like, having to be trapped in the arcade and don't have a date except for the cheerleader, and, you know, like, this is just a weird, interesting twist to it. Maybe
Yeah.
we're just reading into it too much, but it's just very, very interesting lines here. I like them.
When Marco realizes that the Helmacrons are all female, he says, "Oh, great! This is an entire species of Rachels."
They're right. I mean, they're just warmongers. I love the presentation of a warmongering, crazy, funny race of all women. Like, the women aren't, like, sexy or anything.
You're saying they aren't sexy?
They're just hyper
They're so
masculine.
They're
rude.
kind of sexy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're like.
I know. They're not.
Ooh, look at this
They're not.
cool race
They're not
of
over-sexualized.
dominating women. Ooh, and they got all the men in submission. Wow, winky face. This is such a cool science fiction
Some of it
book.
did seem like weird.
No,
like,
it didn't.
Forcing them to crawl through the halls.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. That was so weird.
Crawl in the.
They forced them to
hall?
crawl through the entire ship into the captain's room. Like,
Yeah.
I don't remember this at all.
Yeah, they're like, oh, get.
this book had so much insane stuff in it, Be Natural. I don't know why you aren't talking about any of it.
Crawl in the dining hall.
I just read everything and smiled and nod. That's what I did while reading this book.
That's like when I have a theory.
And you don't do that in
and I
other
explain
books?
it.
Well, I don't know, this book, I just don't remember a lot from it. I remember thinking this was a good book. Okay. The end.
Do the males look different than the females?
They're
Yes,
slightly
they have-
smaller.
They have slanted foreheads.
'Cause I was
Oh, wait, they
wondering
do?
I was wondering if the male and female Helmacrons isn't actually gender, or if it's just the name of the dominant.
Well, yeah, the
I
males
was
have
just saying, like,
big,
maybe it's like the
fat
tallest Urkins.
Yeah, because be natural.
Well, you
Come
said,
on.
I wonder if it's not actually sex, and I'm like, well,
It's
what do you
like a
want?
metaverse.
No,
He's
I was
he's presenting that like it's a good thing.
No, he
No,
has
I'm making up
evidence.
my
It's
point.
just how they explain what gender is.
no. My point
Is
is
that the men's are like weaker? So
No,
like, maybe
no.
they're weaker based on something other than biological sex.
No, I know what he's doing.
no. I'm reading a section from the book,
All right.
and Cassie says I'm not male, I'm female, and they say no, you're a slave.
Oh yeah, that too.
They're-
Thus,
Therefore,
thus,
you're a male.
thus you are male and must do what the female tells you to do.
I didn't really read into that as like
So I was just like,
based on anything. I just thought read it that it's like an excuse for them, you know.
it just
for them
made
to
me wonder.
Keep Cassie be a slave.
It just made me wonder if just like their definition of male is literally just slave.
But
And this is a big book.
I guess we haven't, have we really explored, like, gender dynamics with the Andalites? Really?
No,
They
I
just-
wish they
they-
would have done that more in the last book.
They
Yeah.
just never mention it.
Okay, I guess I'll just
Just don't
I guess
talk
I'll just
about it.
wait on that then.
Are you saying we learn more about it in the future?
Well, yeah.
And we
Okay.
just learned that
Neat.
like
Can't wait.
all it said was like the females are usually scientists and stuff.
And artists and non-warriors.
It didn't even seem to imply that they're forbidden from being warriors.
You let them be doctors and lawyers and such.
Well,
But yeah,
it seemed.
it seemed very unusual
seemed
that a
very
female would
unusual.
want to be a
Well,
warrior.
That she'd even want to be a warrior, yeah. No, I would.
Is that the end of that discussion?
I thought the whole point of that book was like Althea's like, oh, I'm going to be a warrior, and then it would just be like all of her trials and tribulations on the path of that, and like meeting up against a
That sounds
bunch of people who
boring.
would be like, yeah, it does kind of sound boring. You're right, but like what we got wasn't more interesting.
Also, that wouldn't be Hookbridger Chronicles.
But no, but she meets a Hork-Bajir in the Cool Andalite City, and then they're like, oh, I'm gonna date you, but that like puts an extra wrinkle because they're like, ew, you're both a girl and dating a Hork-Bajir, like that's extra bad for Andalite society. You don't
Was
get
that-
to be a warrior.
Is that
blah,
in the
blah,
book? I
blah.
don't remember. I don't know
And then she like
There's on the back
does an
cover.
act of heroism to, and then they're like, you can be a warrior now.
Is that what happened?
That's not what
No,
happened.
that's what I
Oh.
thought the book would be.
Oh, okay.
I thought it would be freaking guys eating tree bark.
But I guess she like kind of becomes a warrior, but in her own way outside of the Andalite hierarchy, which I guess is based. Now that I think about it,
Doesn't she like commit treason?
Yes.
yeah.
Puts trees in her mouth.
By-
which is
Good.
Hookbridger.
Stupid Andalites. Nice.
Well, she commits based treason,
Yeah.
Based on what?
not committing
Andalites being
genocide.
dumb.
Why are you saying based so much?
This is the first time I've said based on this podcast.
Yeah, you've said it a lot.
I mean, she
today.
said it a lot recently in real life.
I like misusing the word based. I've said this.
What does it
very
actually
funny.
mean?
It means like
Correct.
Good. Yeah,
Good.
correct.
Okay.
But like with the political overtone, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't like the teacher doesn't like ask you to solve the problem on the board, and then she says based.
Right.
Maybe they should. Poop. Poop
Pee.
pot. I don't like this worst sentence.
Oh,
I formed a mental image of a yurt. Oh wait, I forget what.
Wait,
sets
so
this
the
up.
Helmacrons
The
are
Yerk-
talking about wanting to stomp all over the Yerks.
Yeah. And
with
then
their big
Cassie
smelly feet.
Gosh.
Cassie writes, I formed a mental image of a Yerk I'd seen in its natural form, and then an army of tiny Helmacron marching over it. It would look roughly like ants on a dog doo-doo. I barely stifled a giggle. And I just wrote Cassie, period, colon slash.
Oh, it's silly Cassie. Just
That's
being
gross.
A forward slash.
Yeah, forward slash. That's
Ants
gross.
don't even care about poop.
Ants don't eat poop, Cassie. Get your animals straight.
Yeah, but the
I
heck-
thought you were the animal genius.
I thought you've seen more animals you've been more animals that most people have seen in their lifetimes.
Yeah. You've
Okay.
been an ant, Cassie. You should know this.
Ants and dog poop is just such a gross image to me.
Yeah, that image didn't really
It's
disturb
like-
me that much.
Not funny.
Cassie's definitely not Tobias, that's for sure.
I thought you would laugh at it just because of poop.
Tobias would say like
Mustard.
ants. It's like ants in like a puddle of pee. That's what Tobias would say.
It's like ants like in like a frozen slushy like pile of pee.
Oh my gosh.
Awful. Dude, can you like buy like slushy machines?
Are you?
Yeah.
What are you thinking of doing with the slushy machine?
Moving on.
Okay.
As a human, hang on. Does Visit 3 only have 2 human morphs?
He has Arya. No, he has at least 3.
Okay.
He has that freaking senator from the
Yeah,
the
exactly.
trilogy.
Because it says like,
True.
oh, we saw Visit 3 in his human morph. Like, they know which. Like,
I think
he has-
they mean
I
his
think
main
they know
one.
enough of his.
The one he
Yeah.
uses at the sharing.
Yeah.
Also, he rides limos a lot because they have blacked out glass where he could demorph and probably also kill people. Presumably.
You know, you could get a
Yes.
less assuming car that also has blacked out glass.
That's what I was thinking. Like, you could get like a much less conspicuous vehicle
Mhm.
with tinted glass, but maybe it's because there's more space for like more people. Like,
Just get a big van. That's even like a limo is low. You don't even have time. You don't even have room to stand up as an Andalite in there.
I think vans, I think, might attract like.
No, it won't. It will not
enforcement.
attack. Not more than a limo.
Yeah.
No, I think like law enforcement.
Okay. I guess so.
But I thought it was super hype when like Visit 3 rolls his window down and then like
So what is that?
the Helmacrons start shooting at him and he's like, Helmacrons?
Yeah.
It just, I don't know.
It seemed like a cool moment because he recognized them and they had to like.
yeah, and I was like, yo, he knows the Helmacrons. It's awesome.
Yeah,
Like,
it's my rose.
and they just like start shooting at him. I love how like annoyed he gets by them. Like Visit 3 is I've never seen Visit 3 like annoyed that in a way that didn't result from him just killing someone. He was just like normal human annoyed.
Yeah, he was. The
Um,
Helmacrons yelled like fans at a football game whose team had scored a home run or whatever it is they do in football. Wah,
oh,
wah.
I didn't catch that. That's Cassie saying that, I assume.
Yeah, it is. Oh, I forgot something about the cheering. I really like the Helmacrons normally talk in thought speak, so I guess multiple multiple species have evolved that over time.
That thought
Alright,
speak
sure.
and also Dracon
But-
games.
Yeah, really. Come on.
Suspicious.
Come up with good lore, Cavalgate. But they can make mouth noises, and their mouth noises are neep, 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 neep.
Yeah, I love that.
Thank you for bringing that up.
And it's so cute.
Do you think they can only say neep neep with
I
the
guess
mouth?
Yes,
so.
yes.
Yeah.
It's have like primitive mouths.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
great.
it.
I like that they have mouths.
And
It
then
just
they
does that.
cheer and they get so excited.
And then they kill each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah. On this page, it's like, yaha! The Helmacrons crowed and thought speak, and from their nasty little insect mouths came neep, neep, neep.
Insect
How
mouths.
do you call their insect mouths nasty? They're cute. I like insect mouths.
Would you want an insect mouth?
On my face?
No, on your butt.
No.
Okay, I want tab 24 now. I do very little notes for this, but
So Visor 3, so Visor 3 starts shrinking, and he
Yeah.
says, "The blue box, the morphing cube. Get it, you fools. Nothing else matters. Get that box." And I was surprised that Visor 3 puts the blue box above his own well-being. Because you'd think Visor 3 would be like, I'm the only one who can morph. Let's have it stay that way.
well,
Save me.
he is shrinking because
But he
of the
already
blue
wanted
box.
the blue box.
So like,
In
if
the
they get the
David
blue box,
books.
that means they can shrink him back up to size.
Okay.
But they don't have the
I
shrinking
don't know.
technology.
Usually Visor 3
Well,
is just
duh,
like, me,
guys,
me,
I don't
me.
think anybody has the shrinking technology except for the Helmacrons too. So
Yeah,
that
that's
makes
what
them even more technological.
That's something I was
advanced.
wondering. Like, if that's something I wrote down because I was like, couldn't Axe just use the cube to shrink them back up, or are the Helmacrons actually like?
Yeah, I think this
They're the
book
ones who
implies
do
that they're
that.
the only ones who can do it.
Yeah.
They're the rulers of the universe.
Oh, there's also a part where Marco was like, "Oh, what if they can't? And what if it's a one-way thing?" I was like, "Why would you assume it's a one-way thing?" I don't know.
Well,
Well,
he's
he's just trying to think of everything. Classic
Yeah.
Marco. He thinks of every possibility.
He didn't assume it was a one-way thing.
It
He
wasn't,
wondered
it wasn't an
if it was a-
assumption. He was just wondering.
Yeah. I think Cass was like, I don't want to think about that. And okay, that makes sense.
And then they don't, and then it never comes back. Yay!
Yeah,
Wait, I thought you'd like it when they come back.
that's me.
I was
Wait,
being
no.
sarcastic, sir.
Oh, okay.
He's sleeping. It's fine.
I'm going to go sleep.
You
Wait,
going to
you need to do
bed?
the outro. Sleep
Let's
on
wrap-
this couch.
Let's wrap up soon.
Cassie has an idea. She's like, "Oh, if we morph something bigger, we'd get larger." I was like, Yeah, that is how that works.
But they have to acquire a new morph to do that.
Well, no, this was when she wants to like morph into a blue owl.
Oh yeah, that thought process takes so long. And she's like, if I morph a skunk, I'll be smart enough for Tobias to carry me around.
You mean small?
Is that smart?
Yeah. Skunks are very smart. That's why she's always morphing them.
Yeah, I didn't mean small.
And there's a part where so they wanna, so the ship has the blue cube, and there's like controllers and animals trying to grab at it, and meanwhile the Helmacrons are like shrinking them, and then Cassie has the idea like, oh, what if we like weigh the cube down, so then like the Helmacrons won't be able to escape, and then Marco says, yeah, it might slow them down, but will it stop them? And even if it does, the Yolks will be able to grab the blue box. And then Cassie says, I don't think it'll be able to stop them, but my morph will. Let's see how well they are with a humpback whale sitting on top of them. And it's like, Cassie, you ignored Moko's second concern.
The more important concern.
Yeah. Like, there are more controllers than Andalites here, or Animorphs. They're gonna take the cube. Why did you just
I like
ignore?
that one of them did actually take the cube, but Axe is OP.
And then Axe was just miraculously not shrunken.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, really. If anybody but Axe had been the last one to have shrunken, then they would have been screwed.
They would have been totally screwed.
So, did Cowboy forget to address that? Like, or just Cassie just ignored it?
It just worked out anyway. The Animorphs were stupid. Yeah. It worked out anyway.
I choose to be annoyed at Cowboy to Cassie for that one.
Yeah, really.
Even if it does, the Yolks will be able to grab the blue box. Yeah, they will. And then I like that they assume that if they get big, like the Helmacrons will surrender, but like they'd never surrender. So just like the Helmacrons just get slapped by someone and who grabs a cube. So yeah. I like that the Helmacrons being like just really like refusing to surrender, just like keeps messing up the Animorphs' plans in this book. Mm-hmm. That was fun.
Yeah. Helmacrons are gay.
They're gay.
They're gay.
They're great.
Probably are gay.
They're also
actually.
Gay, probably. We don't know. Hope we find out.
Yeah, my next note's also about anteaters.
How did they just happen to land on the anteater? Like Axe tells them
flew above an anteater and said, "Drump."
No, he did not.
He knows how to calculate that stuff in his brain.
Drump? No.
No.
My mouth is getting tired.
No, Cassie said Axe go to the gardens, and then Axe said, okay, we're at the gardens, and then she said, okay, now jump. He didn't say we were above an anteater. He was way above the gardens.
She told him to go to an anteater, but the book didn't tell us because it wanted it to be a surprise.
Okay, fine.
Well, she says, what can we do to find
There's
something
no indication of that
something?
whatsoever.
Oh, I thought this was cool thinking from Cassie's book, because I didn't think of this.
I didn't think of it either.
Which she says, like, oh, so the Helmacrons shrink our DNA, but if we acquire something, then we'll acquire it at the big size.
She just pulled this out of her butt, by the way. She had no idea if it would work.
Yeah, it never.
And then it just did.
I don't think it said they shrink the DNA. It was just
it didn't. She just assumed that it did.
I mean, it makes sense that it would, and
it makes sense.
And then this was another thing that was like confusing and weird. I was like, hang on, who is on Axe? Because Axe was like running away, and I was like, who's he running away from? If everyone's like small, and then turned out
not all the controllers are shrunken though.
Yeah. But then it turned out Visit 3 was on Axe, shrunk, and like they were all like all the Helmacrons were on Axe too, and they were like there was like a war going on Axe while he was running.
Yeah.
It was chaotic.
And they didn't even know what leg they were on.
Yeah. Jake and Rachel on one of the legs. Oh yeah, Jake and Rachel. I didn't even know when Jake and Rachel got shrunk. I was like, oh, yeah, it was, but it made sense that it was confusing because like the narrator was small the whole time, so she didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, it made sense.
How come the Animorphs haven't acquired Axe?
Because they're stupid.
They could have acquired Axe and like
stupid.
morphed into Axe.
This would have solved so many of their problems.
I mean, they can just do that all the time, like morph into Axe and then morph back, like then they won't know, Andalite bandits.
Yeah.
Wait, but then the Yerks would be like, that's 6 of the same Andalite.
I guess you're right. Visit 3 might recognize it. But yeah, the Helmacrons are on Axe, and Visit 3 just.
But they should still all acquire him because they can become him like one by one or something.
Yeah, and like like Andalites are strong. Like they have a Tailblade, probably.
Well, that's the reason why they haven't is because Axe is too OP. They can only have one Axe, or else they would just win every battle.
It's not true.
I don't get that. I don't think that's true.
I think it is.
Otherwise, Axe wouldn't morph into a battle morph.
He never does.
He doesn't?
No, he doesn't. He's always himself.
Well, the animals are stupid then.
Yes! You figured it out, Mustard.
Well, that's like saying, why don't they all... Rachel's a bear. Why don't they all acquire a bear just to be like Rachel?
No, because the diversity is good, though.
Yeah, exactly. That's why they're not all X.
Yeah, but X would be good in some situations.
X would be good in basically every situation, because Mark always has to come in because he has hands because he's a gorilla. Guess who also has hands? X. He doesn't have big, strong
one thing
X
hands.
can't do is
He
break
can't
down a
throw
wall,
things.
I guess.
Yeah. He can't break down a wall.
But that still doesn't mean that they can't
He can't tackle like
freaking
60
Cassie
people
is
at once.
useless in every single battle because she's just a stinking wolf. She could be X.
Yeah, when they turned into their battle morphs today, it was like, oh yes, Cassie has really good sense of smell.
It brought that up, but when was that used?
I guess part of it's because like it's an alien and they don't want like to be morphing into aliens because people are thinking suspicious. It's still good to have though.
Yeah.
You know, just like as back like if you need a sharp thing.
I think
I know why Capelgate didn't write it like that, so I'm fine with it. It's just silly.
Good series. Visit 3 does not have his usual cool arrogance. And he's like, I don't know about you, Andalites, but these Helmacron creatures are really, really, really annoying me. And yeah, then the truth
I like
happens.
the secret Visor 3 and Helmacron animosity going on beneath the surface. It lends more character to Visor 3.
Yeah, I'm curious. Dude, what if the Helmacrons are in the Visor Chronicles book?
That would be so
imagine
cool,
if he has like
dude.
some massive
some kind of
like,
backstory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a reason he hates them so
please,
much.
Capelgate.
Dude, I would love that.
Posthumously write that in.
A whole book of just Visor versus.
She's not dead.
By that I mean like after the book has already been published.
The series is dead.
Aww.
Oh, I like this description. Yeah. Rachel is so big it looked like her shaggy bear head must be scraping the stars out of the sky. And they said X's tailbone looked like a crescent moon instead of just a moon.
I thought that was a thumbnail.
I almost thought that out on the what do you think a thumbnail looks like?
I thought they were describing like the end of the end part of the thumbnail where it's white.
But they were trying to say how big it was. Oh, you mean instead of Axe's tail blade?
I thought they were describing a thumbnail and then Axe cuts the thumb off. So the tail blade comes in after the crescent moon, which is the thumbnail.
I don't think so. You just think that because you're clipping your nails right now.
No, I literally thought that while I was reading it.
Yeah, the image of Axe cutting someone's fingers off because he was holding the cube, this controller. Yeah. It seemed a lot more scary just because of how like small, like they were like on the thumb, and it's like man, like there would be like blood and stuff, but you know there's never blood mentioned. Wait, wasn't there blood mentioned once? I don't know, but there's like never blood mentioned in these books.
Yeah.
Yes, there is.
Well, there wasn't when this guy's thumb was cut off. So
okay.
When was blood been mentioned?
Like whenever.
And then from above and behind the thumb, something that looked exactly like a crescent moon and was just about that big came swooping in.
That's the other finger.
Whap! Axe's tail blade hit the thumb.
Okay.
You just weren't paying attention when you read this.
I was paying attention so much in the first half, and then I kind of stopped.
By the end, the battles really did seem to be getting on me. Like, when is this stupid book ending?
I think the book went by pretty fast for me.
Yeah, it definitely.
I had a lot less notes for this one to write. I just wrote like, oh no, the Animorphs gonna become Visor 3 because like they want to eat people. So they're like, oh, let's eat the Helmacrons.
I thought at the beginning they're like, okay, so they're gonna vore the Helmacrons, and that's just how they die. I was very surprised that they didn't actually just end up eating them, because why not?
Yeah, I don't think they ate anyone. Well, because that's when Visor 3 said, oh, you can't kill them. They just come back in someone else's body.
Okay, well, you could kill the ones that are on the planet right now.
Yeah. Oh, you assume it's on a different planet?
What is?
The other Helmacrons that they are reborn into? I assume it was just like others in the ship. I don't know. It was not explained at all. It was weird.
You could just eat the rest of them out of the ship.
Different ship. Third ship.
Like, are you assuming that the Helmacrons have, like, made a colony on Earth?
I mean, how would they get to Earth? They have a tiny ship. I guess they must have light travel.
They have faster than light travel, dude.
Oh yeah, because the speed of light's always the same. That was something mentioned in the book. Yeah, I'm on like the last chapter now.
Like the description of the skin melting, like molasses when they're standing on it. Oh, when they're standing on X's skin and he's morphing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I forgot that they morph while. Yeah, Axe morphs and they're on him, and then like one of them like kind of falls off. Which I was like, yeah, how do you know you're gonna still be able to hang on during the morph? But
they almost fall off, but they're fine.
Yeah, they're fine, and they're also morphing during this. It was a weird.
They morph so much in this book. I was like, how are they not tired at the end?
Oh yeah, I forgot that
Because
morphing tires them out.
they're strong and strong
Yeah,
and
that hasn't,
small.
that hasn't been brought up in like 10 books.
No.
That morphing is tiring.
I guess they could just do it infinitely now.
Because that was a big thing in the early books.
It
Well,
was,
I guess
yeah.
with,
Even when they morphed like 3 times.
They got
Yeah.
extra. They got stronger.
like, has it ever said that Axe is tired from morphing? Maybe they just got used to it. I don't know. They work
Yeah.
their morph muscles.
I mean, I assume Calpagate just doesn't want to spend more pages on this.
I guess not.
Yeah.
I'll say, I thought it was really funny that Visor, like, saw that Visor also morphed into an anteater. Then there was just, like, 2 more anteaters.
Yep.
And then, like, Visor almost eats Tobias. Chapter 30 was so fast.
Yeah.
Because, like...
He
like,
catches Tobias, Axe cuts his tongue off.
That's not what... That's not what happens, is it?
No, Axe just puts his thing up to Visor's throat.
Yeah, so, like...
I thought he was going to cut his tongue off. I don't know why he didn't. Might as well.
Huh. I assumed he was, like, further in the mouth.
Maybe he was inside the mouth at that point, I guess.
Because I think the Helmacrons were inside Cassie's mouth. But yeah, like, Visor 3 threatens to eat Tobias. I don't know why he doesn't just... They want to, like, make a deal, I guess. And then, so like, it says tense, like, scene is like, oh, Tobias is in Visor 3's mouth. Axe has the thing on the guy's neck, and then it just says, the next chapter, that ends the chapter.
Mm-hmm.
And the next chapter just says, we worked out a deal. And it's like, okay, you just skip past the negotiation dialogue. I mean, I guess, okay.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't feel like reading it anyway.
We found some of the pathetically easily to intimidate males and had them help work out the Helmacron shrinking ray.
I'm like, you're not gonna say that, oh, Wuss was our friend, so he wanted to help us. You're just gonna be like, yeah, we just beat them into submission like the females, lol.
Yeah, I wasn't under the impression that they were easy to intimidate. I assumed they were subservient.
Which is like,
to their
why
leaders.
did they start calling that one guy Wuss if like it wasn't good, that he wasn't gonna be important later? Like it's just a lot of detail.
Oh, they're just calling him a wuss.
No, like they're like, oh, he doesn't have a name. Let's just call him Wuss. And
yeah, that was an insult. That wasn't a pet name.
no, I know it was an insult, but he decided to use it as a pet name anyway. For like a page, and then that character just fell out of the book and didn't come back.
Yeah. Wait, does the guy use it himself? He's
No.
like, I am wuss now.
No, Cassie's like, Marco, that's rude, and then she starts using it.
Yeah. We unshrink Visor 3 and Tobias while Axe stood guarding the Visor, the Helmacron ship, and the blue box. We unshrink the human controllers. I'm glad they unshrink the human controllers afterward, and we're like, oh, you
really, you guys just
you're
get to
small
be
now.
tiny.
That's what I thought would happen. I'm glad
No.
it didn't. And gave the Yerks safe passage to leave.
They could have just eaten the Yerks.
They weren't about to argue. After all, we were in control of the shrinking ray. I just felt like, what a dumb ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on my notes. I'll gladly talk about anything else though. This was a fun book.
Good book, fun book to read.
Yeah.
And that's why I gave it a heart.
I might give it a thumbs up now that because you know
You were so positive about it this whole time.
Yeah.
Why is it that you're excessively negative about the books you loved and excessively positive about books that you're like dead?
Because it's just my thought after reading it. You know, like my thought was like that was a weird book. But yeah, you know, going back, it's like, oh, there's a lot of fun scenes here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I only wrote down the things I liked.
Okay.
We don't even talk about the cover, do we?
Cassie's face looks really funny.
Yeah.
Especially in the second and third ones.
Yeah, this is a fun... Yeah, I assume you didn't mean the first one.
This is a good background, though. Woo! Look at all those colors.
Okay, I'm never looking at this now. Actually, this is a really fun cover. Actually.
Yeah.
Okay, I like the fourth morph picture. I like that she still has hair and a human ear. As like
That does look silly.
Like,
she looks like a character from a kids show where all the characters are animals.
Except the head's too small for that. She's like completely like 100%
The head is teeny. You're right.
Except she has like hair and an ear. And I guess the eye is like more human. The eye is human. One. This has to be like the most color there's been in the sky before, right? It goes from like blue to yellow to blue to purple to pink. I don't know.
They really tried on making the folds in her clothes like mold into like the stripes on the anteater.
Yeah, that's kind of weird to me. I don't know if that's done well. It is,
but they did try.
It is nice to look at. This is nice, appealing. I guess that's the point. It's just appealing to look at.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah, that's it.
Another book where the thing on the cover wasn't introduced until really late.
Yeah, This was another.
It's gonna be a common theme because they're just gonna reuse all the good morphs throughout the book, and then need a stinky gimmick morph at the end.
This was a... Oh, yeah, because the morphs are... Is the thing on the cover always a new morph?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
Okay. That's good to know.
Because
It took a while
book
for
9, book 9, Cassie turns into a wolf.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. A lot of these books, I read them and I totally forget the thing that's on the cover. And then chapter 29, I was like, oh yeah, there's an antidote on the cover. That's right. That's happened a few times with 2 different books. Anyway. Hey, Stra. He's still in here, right?
No, he left.
Wait, they really didn't have a cover of a skunk on the front of The Secret?
No,
it
they
was
had a
the
dog
wolf.
for
It
some
was a
reason.
wolf.
Stupid. There was a wolf.
Is there a skunk on another cover?
I don't think so. No.
Why is there no skunk
Why
cover?
not?
The
The
skunk is the most important animal in the
Yeah.
Animorphs mythos.
The skunk
Yeah,
book.
really.
You know what we call that book? It's the skunk book. It's not the wolf book. Every other book is like what is on the cover.
Yeah,
It's the skunk
the alligator
book.
book.
Yeah. Okay, well, sign off time.
Alright.
Go get Stir.
He's right here.
Oh,
He's
he
laying on the
is?
ground.
He's on the ground behind this couch.
Okay, I didn't know that. I thought he was in another room. Okay, I'm being natural.
I'm better.
My recording just died. I think we're recording on 2 things.
Oh, it died.
Storage full. That's not true. Anyway, did you sign off already?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
did
haven't
too?
signed off.
Oh. I'm Mustard. Stir. Wake up, it's time to sign off.
He said it like while you were talking.
Just say I'm Stir. Okay. Oh, yeah. Joke. I have to step, hang on.
Stompy.
Oh, this is a classic. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Police!
Oh my gosh, open up.
Yeah.
Oh no, flush all of the weed down the toilet.
I don't get it.
Police.
It's the police! The police are here.
Okay. How is that a joke?
It's not a joke yet.
Okay. Oh,
Police
so
who?
we haven't answered it yet.
No, yeah, police who?
Police, open the door.
Police, disproportionate numbers of black people.
Should I just say the joke? This guessing the knock knock jokes is
It's
stupid.
not police open up the door.
No.
Oh.
It is unrelated to police opening a door.
Please give me some sugar, I ran out.
I hate guessing the knock
What,
knock
isn't a
jokes.
police
It's so
ask
stupid.
Jessica for a
No.
book from the library? Something really random.
It's closer to
all the
that, yeah. Something a teacher would say.
Please give me an apple. I'm a teacher.
Yeah, you. That's what teachers always say. I like that. Okay, now that you said a sufficiently funny thing, I'll say the actual
All
joke. Police get ready for the spelling test.
What? Why would you knock on someone's door to say that?
That's not how knock-knock jokes work.
It's not a knock-knock joke.
What? That's not... What? No, that's how knock-knock jokes work. They don't have to be related to doors. They just do in my universe. I've chosen to act as if they're all actual people.
No, it's a person with a funny name.
Yeah. Mr. First Name Police.
Did I tell you? I probably already had put this in the podcast in an episode before. When I was a kid, I would do knock-knock jokes. I'd be like, and I didn't understand them at all, so I'd be like, knock-knock, who's there? My mommy and daddy. My mommy and daddy who? My mommy and daddy got married in 1981.
You can go to bed now.
That's really funny. Or my favorite knock-knock joke that my little sister told. Knock-knock.
Who's there?
Chicken.
Chicken who?
Bunny Easter.
Chicken.
Bunny Easter?
Yeah, Bunny Easter.
Is there like a reason or?
Well, it's because she was like 4 when she told it. It's.
And it's not because they lay eggs.
No.
Okay.
There's no explanation for it. She just connected chickens and bunnies and Easter together in her brain. That's why she made it.
It's a good
It's so
joke.
funny.
This is the Animorphs The Invasion board game. We're gonna record us playing it. We don't have a way to record the visuals really. So if this doesn't go well, we might just talk about it at the end and then stick it at the end of like us talking about the TV show or something.
I can
Like
talk
a
about.
little bonus.
I can talk about the previous book.
Yeah, what was setting up? How about we talk about what happened last episode? Because this is after episode 24. We
This
just
is
talked
the
it.
next
Recorded
day.
after episode 24.
This is the next day. Which
This is the aftermath.
23 and 24, those were recorded within 3 days of each other, I think.
Like the old days.
I think that's closer than any of the old ones we did.
Really? Okay.
I think so.
Sorry.
So Stir,
I just wanted to get back to basics.
I liked it. So Stir, you fell asleep.
Yeah, I fell asleep.
You
It
want?
was, okay, it was like midnight.
Yeah.
I was tired, and I fell asleep. I didn't think I would be that tired. I fell asleep.
Yeah.
I don't have much.
I mean, that was
said
partly
most
my
of it.
fault because
She said
I decided at like 10:30 that I wanted beans, so I started making beans, and I had to eat those before we started.
I was playing Dark Souls, so
Carefully detach the game pieces from the carpet.
Wait, did you have more to say about the episode, Stir?
no.
I thought were you saying stuff earlier?
What was I saying earlier?
I don't know, like...
You wasn't saying nothing.
What
Listen,
no,
that-
earlier when we went
That book
recording.
speaks for itself, okay? It's not a book that's like very discussion. It's not it's not like book 21 or 22.
It's the whole book is just Honey I Shrunk the Animorphs. I like the little guys.
You said all this pretty much.
Yeah, then I said all that pretty much.
But,
I had some other, I had like maybe 2 other notes that were worth saying.
Oh, really?
So this board looks like a bunch of pyramids, and then there's like a bunch of tapeworms crawling around it.
I think this is like electricity.
It's definitely reminiscent of the Omega Virus board.
Omegaverse?
Yeah, have you guys played
No.
Omega Virus?
EGS
I
building
think we
here.
played
That's a
that.
cool game.
I think it was nice of them to include a 3D model of the EGS building of all things.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. It's cool.
Cute. Oh, look at this nice. There's like nice pictures in the background.
Yeah, I noticed it's an actual map of the town.
Yeah, there's like the gardens.
Alright, where does Visser go?
Okay, yeah, let me read the instructions.
I was going to, but you guys kept talking.
Oh, so we're done with that, right? I listened to the audio and I thought it was a good episode.
Yeah, I think it's funny that I fell asleep.
As long as it doesn't happen in any future, as long as it's not a recurring thing. Oh, Stuart's asleep again.
Stuart's the one who sleeps.
It's like when Tinky Winky like rolls away from the other Teletubbies or whatever.
I don't know what you mean.
I don't
remember which Teletubby it was, but there was a Teletubby in the middle of each Teletubbies episode who just rolls down a hill away and then he's gone for the rest of the episode. If I remember correctly, I was very young and I remember this
I
because
assumed it wouldn't be Tinky Winky. He's like the main one.
I don't know who Tinky Winky is.
He's the blue one.
Okay.
Wait, do you know all the names?
Yeah.
Tinky Witsy,
Tinky Winky,
Ditso, Poo
Dip-
Poo, and
Shut
Plop.
up.
Dip,
Fuck.
shot.
Do
Flock
this,
is
do
the
this.
black
Flock.
one.
Is
Put
Plop
it together,
actually
put it
the
together
blue
while I
one?
read
It's
this.
not. Tinky Winky's the blue one, Dipsy's the green one, Lala's the yellow one, and Poe is the red one.
Okay, maybe it was Dipsy or something. I don't know.
The smallest one,
I
I
would assume
assume,
it was
right?
Poe.
Okay, sure, it was Poe. Yes.
I liked Teletubbies as a kid.
And my grandma like really liked that. She was like, "Oh, it's time for Poe to roll away down the hill." Ha ha ha! I just remember that.
I
Oh
like,
yeah,
You as a kid
that looks
hated
just
it?
like Marco.
Yeah, it does.
So there is only 4 characters then.
You Scholastic, thinking that we only relate to the human characters. Honestly,
I relate to the bird more.
yeah.
Right.
Ah.
The bird's the most relatable.
you start as a human, and as you play, you make the change and morph into different animals.
Does it say make the change in capital letters with a TM?
It says it in quotation marks with the capital letters. And is that a thing?
Yeah, make the change. That's like their slogan.
I've never
it
heard
is?
that in my
I've never
life.
heard that.
Is that a spoiler?
No.
How about the make the more?
1 hour later.
Okay, I got the 4, so I win.
She won the
She
game.
wins.
I know I would win.
Woo, good
Woo.
Rachel.
Of course, that's very on brand for Rachel.
Okay.
How close was I? Okay, I would have had to wait like 2 more turns.
Okay, now we can
Well, I
talk
would
about
have
the
used
game.
my axe card and
Yeah,
gotten
I-
there immediately.
The only crew card I got was like 8 move Visor 3s.
How are you taking
That's really
this punch?
funny.
Oh, there we go.
I assumed that was the only non-morph card, is move Visor 3, because I think I actually had 5 of them throughout this game.
Okay, I guess we'll talk about the game now.
Oh, it was pretty good. I liked it. I
That's
won.
pretty good.
I won.
So the point in the game, you have to get 3 cards and then fight Visor 3. I have 0 cards. Everyone else
has
had
3.
Everyone else has 3.
But there were 3 remaining. So the game was designed so that if we all just kept rolling really badly, he could have collected the remaining 3 cards and theoretically won.
That's true, yeah. It was awful. It's a fun game. I liked it.
Yes, it's a neat little game.
It was more fun than I was expecting. I was expecting something stupid like Candyland.
Yeah, it's a nice little.
But
It's like a
this had a lot
strategy.
of thought put into it. And there's a lot of strategy involved too.
Yeah, and it like relates to the series like more than just a surface level.
Yeah, all the,
Like, for
all
example-
the missions are based on things that actually happened.
Yeah, for example, at Chapman's house, like you roll if you use the ant, you use the ant to get the highest chances of winning, and that's the morph that they used in that book.
Yeah.
If you try to be an eagle in Chapman's house, it doesn't work.
There's a lot of thought put into them.
That's why I went to the woods. Why is the woods bad for eagle?
What's an eagle doing in the woods? Just eat him?
What's an ant gonna do in the woods? Why is ant so OP in this
You have
game?
to bust up your secret lodging operation.
They've never done anything
No,
successful
that's
as
when they were
ants.
turned into termites, remember? So
Yeah,
the
they
ant
That's
is
the
only one that
closest
can
thing they
sneak
have.
past the
Yeah, it sneaks past the barrier.
barrier.
For this game
Although it
of
should
This
wood.
be
game is
noted-
surprisingly well balanced for how kind of silly it is.
It should be noted that the ant is OP, despite the fact that in the series they never use the ant specifically
It's
because
not OP, jeez.
Well, okay, it has the strongest, the lowest rolls. It's easiest to battle with the ant in most cases.
Wait, really? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, all three of them have the lowest.
Well,
Yeah,
for the
but
lake,
the
it's
paths
9.
are super long with the ant though.
For the instruction side, it's 9.
Well, yeah, for the
Okay,
lake
this
it's
game
9.
considers ants to be really small and clever enough to defeat basically any enemy, I guess.
Yeah.
so better than the books. You're
Oh, you
saying?
can only fight
Yes.
Visit 3 as an ant. Only an ant can outsmart Visit 3.
Unless you're at the EGS tower.
Yes, the Animorphs morph animals in order to gain their intelligence, such as the ant's superior mind.
The clever little
Cleverness.
The clever little ant.
Well,
Yeah,
the ant
well,
can just climb into any orifice and explode any creature from inside. So.
Yeah.
Like, I'll probably play this with my parents.
Oh, I
one
forgot they
time.
exploded a taxon.
No, they exploded a freaking crow.
That too.
And a taxon.
When did they
When the-
explode?
in book
Oh yeah, in
7.
book 7. I forgot about
The
that.
taxon was eating them, and the Ellimist froze time, and then they morphed out.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. When we first met the Elements, that was crazy, dude.
And
What a great book.
they haven't even been
I
eaten
love
since
Rachel on
then.
that one.
And then the element showed up in the episode and let me write my summary again.
Yeah,
that,
that's
was
nice.
that was nice.
That was nice of him.
Girl Elemist.
Okay. Well, so
I'm excited for the Ellimist Chronicles because I remember really liking them as a kid.
We also remembered really liking the Hulk.
I know, but I'm excited.
I'm
anyway.
excited too.
Helmacrons Chronicles
know
seems a lot
about
more
these.
exciting than Hook Chronicles because we already learned a bunch about the Hook We still know nothing about the Elemist.
We still know nothing about the Hook Bridger because they didn't do anything.
No, we learned about the Hook a bunch in
Yeah, we learned a lot.
the Tobias book.
Yeah.
Well,
But
oh yeah,
also,
the book. Yeah.
Will we find out what that weird eye thing was?
Why is this still in here? We don't need this. Okay, I'm putting it away
Just
game though.
leave it in. Yeah.
This is nice. I'm glad I like this game with all the pieces. So,
It's like a little finger puppet.
Would you recommend
So
this
this
to
It
a
wasn't missing anything.
This used copy of a 20-year-old game is better made up than like
a brand new Catan.
brand new Catan.
Oh yeah, we bought Catan twice. It was missing pieces both
Oh
times.
my god, twice? Wow.
Yeah, we bought it new from Amazon, and it was missing pieces. Or it had like
Can we
double.
turn the fan on?
Yeah, it had like too many of
I
the.
forgot we weren't done.
It
Long
had, it had like
pieces.
double wood and no stone or something.
It's crazy. So, would you recommend this game to a fellow Animorph fan?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
So I have to go now.
How's it compared to the Game Boy games, Troy?
Well, the Game Boy game's not good.
Yeah, I don't imagine I can make a much better Animorphs board game than this.
Yeah.
So, good game. It reminds me a lot of the what's it called? Omega Virus. Yeah, it is similar to that. And Omega Virus
GG,
is
my
cool.
friends.
Omega Virus is a lot more thinking. Is it? You just play rock, paper, scissors. No, but you have to like keep track of where the thing is and stuff. Oh yeah, so it's like Clue mixed with this.
Huh.
Yeah. It has a cool machine that talks to you. Omega Virus is so cool.
Siberia?
No, Omega Virus, what? Okay.
I still have no idea who Siberia is. Maybe she'll come up and I'll.
Yeah, was someone named Siberia in this
Maybe they'll
game?
come up and I'll just.
Was there a picture? It just said Siberia.
It was
tells
just
you
a picture of
information?
an old computer.
Oh, this game. We should say the pictures were cool.
Yeah.
How they drew Axe is way. I'll just turn it off for 5 seconds because I think we're almost done. How they drew Axe is way cooler than he looks on the covers. That's how the cover should look. That's how the art style of this game.
I don't love how the Hork-Bajir look, but I appreciate that like they have different art styles going into the Animorph series, and they don't just stick to the same one every single time.
Axe looks so much better.
I love the Taxon. I love how the Taxon looked.
Apparently, that's also how Axe looks in the Game Boy game. And I hope the PlayStation and the computer game they don't look ugly. I don't think I've seen what Andex looks like in that game. We can't play that until like book 40. I mean, unless you think there's no spoilers in the.
No, I'm not
post-fiction
sure
books.
because I really know nothing about those.
Oh. Well, okay, that's it.
You could do research.
Yeah, but we're just
I
reading
guess
the
it's
books
better
with
to
us.
just go in blind.
How familiar are you with the Ghost-written books? Because the next book we read is going to be one of the Ghost-written ones. I'm excited for
How
that.
familiar am I with them?
Yeah, like-
About as familiar as the other ones,
Okay.
give or take.
Do you remember the stuff that happened in the later books more than the earlier books?
No, I remember the early. I mean, well, now I remember the earlier books more. Obviously, it's hard to remember what I remembered about the earlier books before this podcast.
Oh, okay.
But
when's the last time you read?
They really do run together. Like starting around book 40, they really run together. I have no idea which
Also, the
one's
Ghost-written
which.
books aren't bad at first.
Well, it's probably just because I was reading them. I was reading them more quickly at the end
You're
or
reading
something.
Sinner and Bunza and getting your opinions. From
Yeah,
them.
exactly. Yeah, stuff like that. I just didn't read the Sim and Bunza for the later ones as much for whatever reason.
You're less familiar with them then.
There could be many, many reasons why they run together for me, and maybe not for other people. So
I'm excited to read this first Ghost-written
Now,
book and
the
see if I
last
can actually
book-
tell the difference.
the last few books definitely don't run together, but
I would assume Capagate's trying her best when she had a whole year off.
yeah.
The last 3 books.
But up until the last 2 books, it's I don't know what's
well,
happening.
not off. She's writing other stuff, but
Yeah, off from Animorphs at least.
Okay.
I'm excited to.
Say goodbye. Bye. Yeah, we don't need to sign off.
Alright.
I don't think so.
Bye bye.
Bye.